Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to your match reaction for Newcastle 2, Chelsea 0. As you can tell, we are accompanied by the late and great, also fuck you, Steve, but the late and great Steve here, Strasbourg Steve. So, you know, we'll give you a little bit of a little both. But yeah, big up to Steve for joining us for the show today. We got Chris and obviously Scott, as well as myself, MarshCBDX. You guys know what to do before we get into this. Before we get into this review, guys, be sure to smash up the like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Also, be sure to check out the links in the description for more content. My channels there, my music, all that stuff is in my link tree below, and all that stuff, guys. So yeah, elbow those likes, like Jackson. Exactly what Daniel said here. Exactly what Steve said. Elbow the likes, because yeah, we're gonna need it today. Our UCL hopes aren't done. Obviously, we had a bit of a favor from Leicester, who helped in that tie with Nottingham Forest dropping points again. So as things stand, Chelsea currently still sit in 5th place. They need to, not that we've changed our tune much, but now they 100% need to win the next 2 games to guarantee qualification into Champions League. But as always, guys, just a quick summary of today's match. As per usual, strong lineup from Chelsea, as we all pretty much expected. And the first half, it's a tale of 2 halves, really. First half, Chelsea were absolutely being dominated by a Newcastle side that came out there. A Newcastle side, mind you, without Joelinton in there, who's a big part of that midfield 3 of Tonali and Guimaraes. But yeah, just the constant pressure that Newcastle were putting on the midfield. Newcastle knew very well the deed that needed to be done. They knew very well that Lavia was pretty much a big part of what was helping our recent results. And as a result, the game plan was put pressure on Lavia, and within 2 minutes of the game, they get a goal, which you can put part of the blame on Chalobah maybe, but it's mostly Lavia. Chalobah, was it Caicedo or Chalobah that passed it to Lavia? I think it was Chalobah. Chalobah passes it to Lavia. Lavia takes a heavy touch. So the ball gets away from him, which is enough time for, I believe it was Gordon or Bruno, I forget who it was, that pressed Lavia, dispossessed him there, and all of a sudden, quick little play switch to the other side of the pitch, and then cross
Bruno
it back.
Murphy. It was the dummy.
Yep, Bruno to Murphy, and then
Great ball from Murphy
to Sandro Tonali, who scores it, and not much Sanchez can do about it. Maybe you could say Chalobah could do better in terms of his positioning, being in front of the defender, instead of being so close to who I think it was close to Isak. He wasn't going to do much from that position, but regardless, Lavia losing the ball cost us in that moment. And Newcastle were up 1-0, and the whole first half was pretty much Newcastle completely pressing us, dispossessing us, constantly threatening at the goal. I got to give kudos to our center backs for the performance today, because Levi Colwell and Chalobah probably had one of their best, like Colwell specifically, probably one of his best performances of the season, but it all leads to nothing because we don't get a result out of it. But regardless, like keeping Isak, which was such a big part of today's strategy for Chelsea, keeping Isak quiet. Isak barely did much at all in the game. He was isolated and left out of the match. So, I mean, good for the center backs to do their part in that. But the whole first half, just nothing, just constant long balls. And it doesn't make sense to me if it's Sanchez, if it's Maresca doing these tactics, telling him to send the ball long because of the press that was happening. Not really sure what's happening or what the tactic was, but it was foolish, because every single time we were sending the ball long, just losing it, because you have Jackson up against a Botman, Jackson up against a Dan Burn, Jackson up against a Shar. Like, the physicality was not in our favor to win any aerial duels whatsoever on this match. So to continue and persist with that, foolish. And eventually it gets to a point where it frustrates Nicholas Jackson, the guy who we praise for frustrating opposition players, also can't learn from his own little tactics, gets frustrated, and in a moment of idiocy, looks at Botman, goes for the jump. Maybe he expected Botman to jump with him, so that's why he put his elbows up, but he doesn't. And then you see what happens. He gets sent off. It was a yellow at first. Referees looked at it, and it just looks bad. It looks absolutely horrible. It's stupid from Jackson. Gets himself sent off. Second season now where he is behind a big result. He lets us down in a big result. And yeah, I mean, for the rest of the first half, Chelsea are just soaking up pressure, trying not to concede, trying to make it to the second half. And luckily we do. But second half, we're down to 10 men. And although we played better, we looked a little better, we looked more composed, looked calmer. We looked like we were creating a few more chances and stuff. You had Cucurella, who, forced Nick Pope into a great save, a low-driven shot. Enzo as well. Enzo Fernandez had a bit of a chip shot that Pope just flicks over the bar and looked like it would have been on target and could potentially have been a goal. Another chance. And another chance to Reece James. If we had an Osimhen or a better heading striker in that position, maybe it's on target. Maybe it's a goal. But, Reece James gets across, puts his head to the ball, and it goes over the bar. Like, we created chances in that second half. We looked better without Jackson, which says a lot about Jackson, it's just embarrassing to say, and Jackson should be embarrassed. But the second half, if we had 11 men on the pitch, maybe the result looks different. Maybe we do come back. But that's just not the case. And around the 90th minute, Bruno Guimaraes outside the box, takes a shot, deflects off Malo Gusto, who gets there late to block the ball. It's a slight deflection, but the dip is too much for Robert Sanchez to do anything about it. And Chelsea come out of St. James's Park after a 2-0 defeat and sit in fifth. Still a chance to, make it into UCL, but now it gets harder. Now it's down to the last two games. Now it's down to beating a United side, which we don't necessarily have favorable fixtures with United, but I would like to believe that this time around we will be just fine. But we go up against Nottingham Forest now, and this gets a lot more stressful for us here as Chelsea fans. But that's pretty much the summary of today's game from my perspective. Obviously, we're going to break down the game a lot more, but before I go ahead and do so, Steve, we'll start with you, man. I mean, your thoughts on the game. Obviously, you can give us the Newcastle side of things, but yeah, floor is yours, brother.
Well, I guess I want to start before the game because I was taken a little aback or a bit surprised at kind of how confident your fan base was feeling. Maybe not
Mm-hmm.
surprise is the word, but you'll see what I mean. You played
I was one of
Liverpool.
them.
You
I was
played very
confident.
well. You've been in
Mm-hmm.
good form recently with the new Caicedo right back, Lavia, Enzo. You guys have been playing much better. I was just surprised that like people like some of your fans thought that you'd win like 3-1 or 2-1 or something. I was thinking more of a draw. That was my honest to God prediction, because I was like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, they are in good form. That midfield can compete with ours, and it did, even with 10 men in that second half. I think it was a game of two halves for both midfields. I think overall, those were probably the best players on the pitch for both teams, the midfielders. I thought Tonali, I mean, the run he makes with the goal is from fucking 40, 50 yards out. That's Tonali doing Tonali things. Bruno
Mm-hmm.
done well to get the shot up, takes a deflection, don't shoot, don't score. Fair play to him. I thought he had a good game. Caicedo was very, very good for you guys in the second half, and even in the first half, he bailed you out a few times defensively. Enzo, I thought, was rough first half for you guys. Stepped up in the second.
Mm-hmm.
Lavia was a bit mixed, but overall, I thought the midfielders in both teams were the kind of outstanding players. Dan Burn, I thought, was really, really good. Botman as
Yeah.
well. Bit disappointed that he had to go off so early, because it looks like maybe there's another injury to him, which sucks, because he's such a good fucking center back, but it just seems like injuries have taken away a lot of his it's just annoying, man. But I thought he was really good. Share some really, really nice switches. You guys were he played a lot. Yeah, he played a lot of good switches in that first half in particular. And then we got space, and it took out your whole midfield, some of those passes. Same with Bruno. Murphy, the assist on the goal was, again, another Murphy cross. He's got a lot of he's had a great season, to be honest. For the caliber of player Murphy is, he's definitely overperformed and delivered. So I thought he was decent. His defensive work as well was really good from Murphy. Same with Livramento. I thought he was good. And we also Marshall, you said that we didn't have Joelinton. We were also missing Trippier as well. Hence why we went with
Oh,
the back
true.
three.
I totally forgot about him. Yeah.
Yeah, and we've been missing Lewis Hall for a month or two now.
Yeah.
So
He's
those
been a good
are
part of the
players
season, too.
important to the squad depth, and in different points during their time at Newcastle, they've been very important. I gotta give a lot of credit to Eddie Howe because of the kind of 3-4-3 that we played. I thought it stifled you really well, and the press. I like the fact that our press performs at such a high level, no matter the formation or the setup. I thought that's really. I thought it went really well. Second half, yeah, we weren't as good, definitely not. But I thought we defended pretty well, as good as you can. As good as you can. I was impressive how well you guys played though with 10 men. I will say that, and you did have your chances. You did have some chances. Yeah, I was nervous during the second half, but I was kind of quietly confident. Like, I do think we'll hang on. And then that the second goal came at the perfect time. So, yeah. Overall, I think Eddie Howe got it completely right. Maresca at first did not, and obviously your players got to hold accountable for that as well. But that second half, I thought Maresca schooled us, to be honest. The Caicedo going into midfield and Reece James at right back, that really thought you played really well. And on a different day, you possibly do pick up something, to be honest. Pope made 2 good saves. Kraft, I thought, came off the bench and done well for us. Miley as well. I thought he stringed some nice passes together defensively. He was sound. So, yeah, I don't really know what else to say, but just happy with the progress of my club, and I feel like we can beat anyone at home, and it's been that way for about 3 years now. So with Eddie Howe, we're building you know, we've had a top 3-4 attack in the league now for 3 seasons. Defense is what our defense is consistently over the past 2 years amongst with some of the best. And now we have a Carabao Cup as well. So yeah, just we're on the way up. And I think that this trip to Newcastle for anybody now is you definitely gotta think about it. Like you definitely gotta, I guess, fear, but you gotta respect it. You gotta respect it because this is a fortress now. But I will give you guys a lot of credit. The way you played with 10 men is more brave in your approach than some would call better teams with 11. To be honest. So yeah, that's really all I gotta say about it. But and then also Isak as well. Isak was held quiet, and this is something I'm obviously I want my top striker, I want my gunman to score, but I'm glad that I don't have to solely rely on him for goals, and I know that he's capable of it still. He's not a bad play. He didn't have a great game today. I thought he was maybe a 5 out of 10. So had some nice touches here and there, but yeah, it's nice to have goals all around the team, and the squad play has stepped up for sure. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, since we can actually like get into a bit of the analysis of the goal. Like we can break it down here. I have it. Obviously, yeah, it was Gordon that Gordon was. I don't think Gordon was a problem, but he was just pissing me the fuck off on that left wing.
And
dude.
he's pissing your team off. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it was just rattling. Like the one thing that Newcastle did so well, and credit to Eddie Howe, and obviously the tactical setup. Like you guys are just so well organized. I got to give you that. Like just how solid and how consistently you guys were able to keep your shape and just frustrate Chelsea constantly. I think the big decider of the match, which Eddie Howe deeped, was just pack out the midfield. Like 4 midfielders, just leave Isak by himself. The 5-4-1 just made it so that you can come out and attack on a counter, but you can also do somewhat of a midfield blocker, like just a block in general. And it definitely frustrated Chelsea. Chelsea were looking to pass the ball and they couldn't, pass from the back, which is when they did pass from the back, this is how the goal happens. And every time you had the long ball, you were winning them. It was just frustrating. You were frustrating the shit out of Chelsea. Players were getting easily frustrated. I mean, you saw Guimaraes and Enzo go at it. You saw Caicedo, how pissed off he was getting. Palmer was getting pissed off too. The occasion definitely got to the players, which is, it goes to the whole mentality thing. The young team, it's frustrating. I'm not gonna keep harping on it. It is what it is. We're in the situation we're in, and we just got to make do. But this does go to show, maybe a more experienced team doesn't let it get to them. Maybe, right? That's just a hypothetical, right? But yeah, looking at this goal, man, it's obviously you can't see it from here because freaking the.
Yeah, that was annoying. It just came out of nowhere. Looking at the ref, looking at that rat dive all game, and then
Lavia lost the ball pretty much here from a shitty touch, and Tonali goes into the space completely unmarked. Would you guys say Caicedo probably should have been on Tonali?
Yes, Caicedo. Once the ball goes out wide, Caicedo's at fault for not tracking the runner. Because he's the one that can see this play developing. He can see where what's his face, Tonali is. He should be anticipating that and tracking that run, but he doesn't. But
albeit Tonali again. Jimmy pointed it out.
Or the thing is, the Caicedo in that situation needs to tell Chalobah where he is, because it probably is Chalobah's man in terms of positionally speaking, but Chalobah in that situation
I don't think he's
can't really look over his shoulder to see what's behind him, while that attack is going on, in case he ends up missing something. Like that guy that's running across him now. That's Bruno. Not Isak. Bruno, yeah, Bruno, for example, he can't look over his shoulder because he has to focus on Bruno. So what's his face? Caicedo even needs to be on Tonali or be telling Chalobah where Tonali is. But like ultimately that should never happen because it's a poor touch from Lavia. And like 2 minutes in, you can't be doing this in any game, but especially in a game against a top 6 like rival in a 6-pointer like this. Like you can't be doing that.
Yeah, I mean, what frustrates me about Chalaba is that like in this position, you're not doing anything. Like even if the ball gets to Isak's gonna beat you. Like you know, this is more.
That's Bruno G, bro. Isak.
It's Bruno.
Isak's on
way
the
back.
Oh, Isak's over
outside
here.
the
Holy
box.
shit. Yeah, never mind. I was like, why is he? I don't remember him being so short. This is a weird pixelization.
Bro, Chalaba's not poorly like placed. Like the fact he doesn't really do anything to stop Bruno trying to get the ball there is poor. But like he's not in an awful position. It's just like he's marking 2 people, which he shouldn't have to because the right back not doing his job.
Yeah, I think if Chalaba were back here, he'd be more effective, and he probably prevents the goal. Obviously,
it's a very nice ball from Murphy, and he gets it off.
No, it's a brilliant ball actually when you think about it.
He gets it off first time as well. Because if you take a touch or two, that's precious milliseconds.
That's like a KDB-esque like ball. It's actually.
No, it really is. And like Steve was saying, Murphy's been really good for them. He's gone so under the radar because they have Isak.
Let's check, bro.
Off top of that, though. That's a hard one.
I'm gonna say
in the Premier League, he's got 8 goals, 12 assists, and 30.
That's 12 now. Fucking hell.
Yeah,
he's got 20 goal
20 GA. Was he playing an 8, right? Or
no, he's a winger. He played as a wing back.
He's a winger. Oh, I was gonna say like I didn't see it. I thought it was Barnes and Gordon.
No, he's been because the thing is they only really had 2 right wingers. They had they tried playing Gordon there and it wasn't working. They had him and Almiron in it. He was the one playing over Almiron.
Yeah. Almiron didn't really make it.
But yeah, Murphy's been with us since 2016. We bought him from Norwich for cheap. Yeah, he's been here a decade, Murphy.
Damn, he must be getting old.
Yeah, he is.
Having a
30.
good season. Oh.
Yeah, but no, that cross from Murphy, it was very good. But you're right, you definitely had some faults in there. But this is what we do, though. This is what we do. Like early in games, we impose ourselves, especially at home. Obviously, impose ourselves right away. We ask questions of the defense, whoever it is, 9 times out of 10, immediately. And this is the kind of thing that happens. I'm willing to bet if you were to look up what team has scored the most amount of goals at home in the first 10 minutes, I bet we'd be pretty high up there. Because we score a lot of goals early in games. So, but yeah, it was a good start from us, but you had some faults on that for sure.
It was. I do want to disagree with something you I do want to disagree with something you said earlier, or slightly disagree with something you said earlier, Steve. I think from your perspective, midfielders were 100% best player on the pitch. I think our midfield sucked today. Like, I think that Caicedo at right back wasn't great. Like, you could see he was having issues dealing with Gordon at times, and dealing with Barnes as well. Like, he didn't look as comfortable, and it feels weird to say this, but I think it's because of how high a bar he set himself. This is the worst game I can remember Caicedo having in a while. In the first half, I should say. The first half.
Yeah,
when he was he had the same, it felt like he had the same issue that Reece had against Fulham, where every time he was inverting, he was getting caught out of position because you would kept attacking that side. And I thought our other midfielders, Lavia struggled a bit, like outside the mistake. He was okay, but wasn't really able to handle your midfield. Enzo straight up sucked. Like, he was awful. Complete passenger in the game today. Defensively got dominated by those 2 midfielders. Even in the second half, he got on the ball more, which meant he could do more passes, but even off the ball, still got dominated by your guys' midfield. So I think our midfield sucked. Was not good enough today. And I'd have liked to have seen, that's the only criticism of Maresca. There's a couple of small ones, but I think the only criticism I can give is I think that he could have taken like Enzo off or Lavia off, put George on late in the game, but I don't know if that'd make a difference. But yeah, like just wasn't good enough. And I think that the second half was a lot better, but I think that first half was what killed us. And we'll get on to the obvious. I know we haven't spoken about it yet, but even outside of what happened later on in the game, that stopped us getting anything out of the game in the second half. But the damage and where we were at going into the second half was done based on the performance of the whole team, and just it's not good enough. Like the tactics weren't there. Not necessarily tactics, but there was a disconnect in the team. This long ball up to Jackson, who wasn't winning the ball and wasn't going to win the ball.
Mm-hmm.
And even if he won the ball, couldn't hold it up because there was no one around him at all, ever. Yeah. Like he was at all times he had at least 3 guys on him, maybe 4, depending on if like one midfielder dropped. The midfield, like I said, was just non-existent that first half. Defensively, we were okay, but I still thought Newcastle were cutting through us at every point, like cutting through us. Like it was so easy for them in that first half, red card or no red card, to just get into our box. And if it wasn't for the fact their final touch, final pass, final shot wasn't good enough, we would have been like 3-0 down going into halftime. Like they had opportunities and just didn't take them.
And the fact that Isak didn't have a great
and
game.
That as well. Like if Isak's on form, like, and if they actually even if he's not on form, if you guys take one of your chances, we're out of that game well before the second half.
Yeah.
And even in attack as well, Noni terrible today. But had the same issue. Him and Neto had the same issue. We've had so many times this season when we play low blocks, it's 2v1. And even though Noni wasn't good, I don't know what else we expect him to do 2v1 all the time. Sancho came on and had the exact same issue. Didn't really do anything else in the second half. And just that first half killed us. And I blame that on the players, because while I do think that Eddie Howe slightly outcoached or got the better of Maresca from a tactical perspective, bro, some of these players just didn't turn up. Like the fact that there isn't a single player in that first half. I said at halftime, there wasn't a single player in that first half that I could say looked like they'd had a good game. The closest you could say was Cucurella. The closest person you could say had a good game was Cucurella.
Colwell had a good match.
Second half, yes. I thought Colwell was immense second half. First half, it was
solid. I thought he was still solid first half.
I think he prevented
first half, I thought he was okay. Him and Chalobah were okay, but the problem was with how many chances Newcastle were getting. It just felt like we were giving into
I thought it was a problem to our midfield as well. Our midfielders overrun that first half. That's why they was getting in there.
Yeah, second half we improved. Second half, we improved massively, and I got a big up Maresca and some of the players for that, stepping up in that moment, mentality-wise, because that was the problem with the first half, was mentality. And there is still a mentality issue in this team, as we will talk about with one player, actually multiple players. I don't know why our captain is trying to fight players in the first half, losing his head. I don't know why our centre-back, who was good in the second half, is trying to fight players after we go 2-0 down. Show that fight in the game, trying to get back into the game, which you did. Don't show that trying to fight players. And as I said, the second half is annoying because the second half is from a performance perspective was what we deserved, but because of the actions of one moron, we were never getting anything out of that second half, and that second goal was coming the whole second half because they still had Newcastle had a chance the second half. If Barnes takes a better touch, he's in on goal. 1v1 with the keeper, he's potentially scoring. Bruno has a chance where he balloons it into row Z when all he's got to do is put it across the keeper. Byrne had. Oh no, there was that one that I was thinking in the first half. Byrne has 2 free headers. One of them he puts just wide of the post. That should be a goal. That's 2-0 down at half time.
That's true.
And the second goal comes, and again, it's shit defending. It's a mistake defensively. Enzo, don't know what he's doing. That's his man that gets the ball. And instead of pressing him, he steps back, allows him to shoot, and then the deflection, you can't really do much. But it's just not good enough. And like I said, I kind of buried the lead because the reason why we had no chance of getting anything out of the game is because the actions of one man. And I'll be completely honest, from a mentality standpoint, it's piss poor. I'm kind of done with him on that. He shouldn't start another game for Chelsea Football Club. I'm not on the selling him thing yet because I'll be real, I don't really care. My stance with him is always the same. But yeah, just piss poor. Not good enough.
Yeah, I mean, Lavia obviously came out, said this on socials, but Coco, I don't understand how fans are blaming Maresca for this result. Listen,
because they hate him.
They hate him. It's just that simple. People.
I thought he did a great thing in that second half as well.
The second half, yeah. And listen,
I don't know what else he could have done at that point.
I said this over and over again. You guys were here for it, and Steve, maybe you heard it, on YouTube, on maybe another channel you saw me with Jackson and not Jackson. I'm sorry, with With Lavia, as long as Lavia's fit, I think we have a chance against Newcastle. And it's no coincidence that since Lavia's returned, our reform has improved massively.
Yeah.
But Eddie Howe is a good manager. He's a good coach. He understands the game, and he understands that exiling out Lavia probably ruins any of that synergy we have in the midfield. He is so pivotal to how we go forward, how we, beat the press and win the midfield duels and stuff. But they were just on his case the whole time. They basically eliminated him as part of the equation in that first half. Yeah, he got some passes off and this and that, but like he was struggling. Like as press resistant as he may be, he's not completely press resistant. You can get at him. It's not the first time we've conceded a goal from a mistake from Lavia from there. What was the other game that he did something similar? No, he did something similar. Was it Tottenham? Was it? No. It was someone in chat knows. He had a similar mistake where he loses the ball in that area and then we concede. Was it Brighton?
Who?
Was Lavia? Chris, pay attention, please.
No, okay. I don't remember. I thought you said Lavia, but I don't remember him making any mistakes.
Have a look.
Lavia had a mistake like that.
Honestly, it's trying to remember who he's played against.
Was it Bournemouth? Maybe it was Bournemouth.
Yeah, we need to pick the
Bournemouth. Maybe it was Bournemouth.
He played.
Yeah, I don't remember, but it was probably Bournemouth.
No, it can't be. No, like surely not. Like, because wait, second game actually. No, I'm thinking we won 1-0. No, the second game you're thinking about.
The second game. It was recently. But yeah, it's again, Eddie Howe went there with a plan and he executed it really well. And he has midfielders that do a good job at executing that. Like Sandro Tonali, it has been brilliant for them this season. Bruno Guimaraes has been brilliant for them this season. I potentially up there for player of the season for them. Bruno, as well as, Sandro's up there too. Isak as well. Like, there's a few in there. Yeah. Thank you, Hot. Yeah, so it led to a penalty. Yeah. I remember that. Okay, so yeah. But yeah, it's just like he has those moments where he does lose the ball like that in a dangerous position and it leads to a goal. This is the second time it's happened this season.
I'll be real though, I don't think he does. Like, this is only the second time it's happened this season. Granted, he hasn't played a lot, I understand that, but he is like, I think most of the time he is secure on the football and he is press resistant. Like the stuff you see today, I think the moment you see from Lavia today for me is so, and it's highlighted so much, I think, because he very rarely does this. Like, it's not like Sanchez, right, as an example, or some of our centre backs where they make the same mistake so many games that it's like you kind of it just becomes normal. Like there were times today where I didn't even cuss Sanchez out for kicking the ball away because it's so normal.
Yes.
And so I think that's the thing with Lavia. It's like
pitch, which is just
this is like only the second or so time that we've seen this happen.
Exactly.
But yeah, like this only really the second time we've seen this happen, and so it's more highlighted as much. Like I said, you don't really see it happen too often. Like he wasn't great today, but like I don't think that's an indictment on him as a player. He's been solid.
Credit to us. It's more of a credit to us that like we got the better of a player that 97 times out of 100 knows how to deal with that situation.
Exactly.
That's what.
Yeah, like we've seen.
That's the thing. Whenever I talk to rival fans once we play them and they say we made a mistake on the goal, I'm like, no shit, you did. That's what our that's what we do. That's why we press like mad dogs. That's why we press like that's the whole point of it. We don't just press. We don't just press just to get numbers on our fucking iPhone health app. Like we do it for a purpose, for a reason. It's coached in a way. So,
but I do agree with
Jan. Better at Lavia in that.
This is his second time making a mistake out of 10. But I'm not saying this is. I'm saying this is a kid who's 20 who's still learning the game. So I don't agree with the second part of the statement saying if it's alarming, because he's only 20. He literally missed an entire season.
80% success rate. So as far as I'm aware, that's not bad at all.
But he needs to do better.
Agenda's got to agenda.
I think I agree, but I think.
But I don't think it's alarming. That's what I'm saying. Like I don't think it's alarming. Like 20, he's gonna learn.
I also don't think. I will say I don't think the maths quite quite lines up there, because it's not really a second time in 10. Because if you think about it, there are so many times in those 10 games or in those other 8 games where he's been in the same position and got out of it. So it's almost like 2 times out of like 20 different opportunities where he could have lost that ball. So all of a sudden, the maths is like even more weighted in his favor, if that makes sense. Like I said, like it's a mistake.
He's getting better at scanning. That's what I think.
100%. And like it's an error and it's a mistake. And it's not me trying to like absolve him of blame, but like you said, he's young. I expect him to improve on that sort of thing. He's already shown he's good enough to start for us and play for us in big teams, and I've got no issue with him. It's like it's literally just a mistake. Like it doesn't change how I feel about him as a player.
And that guy, same guy, saying you want him. See, I wanted him gone if he was continuing to be injured, not because of the lack of quality. So that's the only reason why I wanted him to leave, is because lack of quality. Yeah, and you're saying he's bang average. It's
wow, you found it.
It's so dumb. Like such a dumb comment.
Damn, congrats finding that, Marshall. Where'd you find that?
A person in the comment messaged it, and then he could
paying attention, Chris. That's why.
Chris. He reads the comments of his own chat. Chris.
No, but like he found a video. I'm not saying like, did they send a link to the video? I don't understand.
No, bro. If it's leading
that's
to
what I'm on about.
Like,
he found a video.
Chris, it'll be part of the match highlights, my friend.
On MP. Okay, I thought you found it online.
Yeah, when it concedes to a
goal. This isn't the play I'm talking about, but this is one of them. So I would say this is a third one. There's another one that I can't remember right now, but yeah, it's just it's unfortunate. It's a mistake like that, and here's the thing. This has happened to Jorginho too. In that position, most times if you make a mistake, it will lead to a goal. It's just one of those positions where your mistakes get fucking highlighted.
That's what we meant. That's why we went after Nani Madueke from trying to dribble out at the edge of the box. We're like, dude, don't try to dribble out of there. That's dangerous. If you lose the ball, we're screwed because of our defensive shit. And I'm sorry, but I don't mean to pivot too much, but I'm very happy that Lavia put "this is on me," because I swear
he did.
on the high heavens, if I see Nicholas Jackson post something that's not similar to this, but some bullshit, it's not against something that I'm not saying I'm against something religious, but I hate when bang average players make mistakes and say it's all part of God's plan. You know what I'm saying? God is here for me on my side. You know, God got my back. And then some scripture. No, I don't want this bullshit. I'm sick of bang average players putting some scripture of God to somehow forgive their freaking mistake. So if
I'm hearing the CP God, that's what I'm hearing.
No, I shut up.
No, he didn't post. He didn't post. No religious.
No. I'm saying.
Good. I don't fucking want to hit the post.
No. I'm saying if you post, I want what Lavia put, and not. I do not want. Don't give me any religious scripture of whatever God you pray to. I do not want that. I hate when bang average players do that. You know why? Because the good ones never do this shit. Luka Modric, when he makes a mistake, doesn't say like, scripture 3.1 from Elijah. God got my back today. Like, I'm sorry, I'm not Christian, so I'm not. I don't. I'm naming, but like, good players don't do this shit. Okay, good players might recite a God's thing when it's like they won a trophy and they're thankful to God. Not when they make a mistake, then they freaking put a religious scripture or some shit, man.
It's just trying to mask us.
By the way, I also do.
I get you.
It's like they're trying to chase away from their own like responsibility.
I'm sure Modric has made a mistake in his like.
But beyond moving past CP's heresy and everything. I do want to say I agree with. I don't know who made the comment slightly further up, where it's like, I do think the mistake by Lavia, and it is a mistake, is highlighted less if we defend the second phase of play properly. Like if Caicedo and Chalobah defend that better, because like I agree with this. Like every now and again he will lose the ball because it's damn near impossible in the Premier League, especially due to the nature of it and the pressing nature of some teams. And I thought Newcastle were very good at that today, and it's an issue that I think we have that they were able to do, where they could just speed the game up instantly on a dime. We have shown multiple times this season, especially against a team like Newcastle, how they defended. We have an ability to do that at times, or at least consistently. But you're going to lose the ball a few times in those positions, like in moments like that. You just have to then be able to recover and defend the next. Like if we defended that next phase of play as best we could, and Newcastle still scored, then I just got to hold my hands up and say fair play. There's nothing we can do. But it's like Tonali's free in the box, while the centre back and the right back are doing well. The Chalobah actually, I blame less because he's at least marking someone, but you got your right back literally marking air, like he's marking oxygen, like he's going to run out of it in a second.
That's true.
So like,
I mean,
it's kind of hard to then like do much in that position, even if you do lose the ball.
I'm looking for the moment we have to discuss, obviously, right? So,
bro, like, let's get into it. Like while Marshall's looking at it, like,
I got it.
I don't even know where the fuck to start with this. Like, I don't.
Can we just go to the main event? Can we go to the main event?
This is what we have to talk about because it's like I said earlier. As annoyed as I am about this game, and I've found out from earlier.
Oh, and smash up the like
after
people
the game,
before we actually get into it. But yeah, smash up the like, please, so it helps out the channel tremendously.
Yes.
But like, as annoyed as I am about the first half, and as much as how I think that
Nicolas
it put us on the back foot, regardless of whether Jackson was on the pitch or not. The reason why we can't get back into the game in the second half is because of him. At the end of the day, 100%. we have an opportunity to get back into that game in that second half with him on the pitch, or at least even if he's terrible, with him being on the pitch because we're not down a man, and you can at least take him off to have
100%
a sub like a George or whatever.
It's not even that. Like he even still takes on a defender or whatever. Defenders could be marking him, so that's like a less man on someone else as well. So it just doesn't help having less man like on the field in general. Still,
yeah,
like,
and
I don't think he would have scored. He might have scored today actually because there was one ball like just crossing from the 6-yard box. I forgot who crossed in. It might be Neto, but like it's just straight across the 6-yard box and no one got an end of it because we don't really have a lot of attackers on the field at that point still. But
I mean,
it is one of them things.
This is one of those like honestly, CP. The more and more I think about what you said yesterday, and the more and more I think about like him in general, and his attitude issues, the more and more I'm kind of leaning towards agreeing with you about selling him. I'm not there yet, but I'm getting there. I am. It's like these are the moments that cost us big time in the season. And we look at this, right? Like I said, maybe if I'm going to give any benefit of the doubt, and I'm not, all right, because I do say, and I 100% agree, he should have been sent off. Two things that piss me off. One, it's the inconsistency of the refereeing in this league, right? Because you guys have seen it in your timelines multiple times. This type of collision happens, nothing gets called for it, which I don't agree with. It's a red for me. It's always a red for me, and the fact that it's just not consistently called is annoying. Also, the refereeing in this match was horrible.
Wait, Marshall, sorry, what do you mean by that? Because I do see the elbow thing happen, but when you're jumping up, that's when it becomes a yellow, and that's when it's called or not called.
Yeah,
but
it's
when
like
you're on the ground, that's what I disagree with. That's when
I saw some people trying to like. I saw someone like retweet the video of Aspi in when he got elbowed by Mane, and like that's one where maybe Mane deserved a red card for that, but that one's more of a debate because he's jumping in the air and he's looking at the ball the whole time, and he's got his arms out because he's jumped, and it's like he does catch him in the face. This
what about the one Lavia just got from
the inconsistency? Let me just give you some examples, right? We literally have the best example I could give you of why I hate how inconsistent the rules are with the FA. There's two. The Bruno Guimaraes on Jorginho against Arsenal. You can see like he comes barging at him, lip biting and all that shit, and he elbows the guy.
We get away with murder, by the way.
Well, is it on the ground? Can you replay that? I don't remember. I
can show you. I can show you.
I remember seeing that one.
CP Scott, you guys might remember this one. Kulusevski on Lavia.
Yeah.
Which Kulusevski is running with his elbows.
Oh yeah, no, Marshall. I 100% agree with you. I think there are inconsistencies, but that shouldn't. Like for example, there was I don't know if most people want to watch it. The Mings one on Alex Scott yesterday.
Yeah, I saw that one.
Bro, he fractured his jaw with that elbow.
CP, I'll show you the thing I'm talking about.
And nearly he fractured the guy's jaw and nearly concussed him.
Did he get sent off with that,
and
right?
that, like, you're right about the Lavia one, but my thing is like, yes, there are inconsistencies, but just because you got one decision wrong, like the Kulusevski one, doesn't mean you should get another one wrong. Like, this is a clear red card. There's no intent. There's no intent to play the ball at all. He doesn't actually look at the ball until his elbow is about to connect with Botman's face. It's not even just the intent as well. Like, there's so much wrong with this. It goes back to the intelligence stuff that keeps coming out about Jackson as well. And this comes to the striker stuff. If you're any top striker or any half decent striker, you don't lead into that with your elbow, or you don't lead into that from this position. You get backside to the defender. So for them to get the ball, they have to go through you, and you get a foul. Like, you look at what Harry Kane did for years. I hate it, and it's dangerous. But that thing he does where he like backs into the players and then like bends over. Yeah. That's what he's doing in this position. Again, I hate it because it's dangerous for the defender.
Exactly, though, Scott, because that was my second point. The only, and again, I agree, it's a red for me. Jackson is an idiot. And I'm more inclined to believe that Jackson was doing this out of frustration than to actually win the ball, right? But the only benefit of the doubt I can give is that Jackson looks at Botman. Botman looks like he's about to jump. Then Jackson looks away. Botman doesn't jump.
No, but my
maybe
point
you
is,
put your arms up to give yourself the space in the air, but he doesn't jump, and then he ends up elbowing him.
No,
I
but
think
Marshall,
it was an accident. No, I think it was intentional.
Where I disagree with you on that, because I know that Jimmy on Lewis's channel and others made a point. That's not a defense here, because for two reasons. Number one is, even if he jumps, why have you got your arm up? You're going to give the foul away anyway. Like, you're going to elbow him in the ribs and give a foul away and probably get a yellow card anyway. So again, that's still an issue because you're getting a yellow card for a stupid foul. Second, I'd understand the argument if Jackson looked like he was going to jump. At no point in this entire phase of play they were about to watch, this entire clip, does he look like he's about to jump.
The problem is
no point. And so forget what Botman's doing. I'm talking about Jackson. Jackson at no point looks like he's getting ready. Like, he doesn't brace himself like he's ready to jump, and he catches him while doing, like, it's a tiny little hop.
Yeah,
it's a
the problem with Jackson is he looks at him, brings his arm up, and then he goes into the motion up into his head. That is the problem, bro. You know what I mean? If he wasn't looking at him, I don't even think they would still give him a yellow card. But it's because he looks at him first. You know what I mean? Takes a moment to appreciate him, brings up his arm, and then goes in for him, bro. That's the problem. That's just the best way to put it, man.
What do you mean by that? What do you mean by that, man?
I didn't even know
it takes a moment to appreciate him. What do you mean by that?
Not in the mood
today. I'm feeling fruity today.
Feeling like an alpha male.
I mean, Ahmed, you did say it. You did say it. You did say this word.
It's feeling fucking.
Okay. Anyways,
like a fucking alpha.
No, but I think I mentioned this.
And you know what else? Before CP goes, this angle. If you look at it from this angle, you maybe come out. If you're feeling generous, you maybe come out with the one conclusion I made, that it's like, oh well, maybe Botman's jump and it throws him off, right? Again, I don't agree with that. I'm just steel manning defense for Jackson, right?
I don't know.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say this real quick. Also, this is a game during the day. So I don't know about you guys, but when I've played football before, usually if someone is jumping behind me, I can see their shadow because it gets dark.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh yeah. You can
this is what I mean, by the way. Yeah. Look, hang on. Go. Sorry, Steve. Go one frame forward, by the way. One frame is all I'm asking. One more. Oh, there we go. That's when he looks at the ball.
Mm-hmm.
The elbow's already going to hit him in the chin or the neck, and that's the moment he looks at the ball. That's why he gets sent off. And I'll be honest as well. Another issue I have with this, and it goes back to what I said about like trapping it and what proper strikers would do. Mm-hmm. What are you trying here? Like, say you don't elbow the dude in the face. Say the ball just bounces. Are you winning it? Are you controlling that? What's your next step here? What's a successful outcome here for Jackson in his head?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He's doing it out of frustration, and it's stupid. It's so stupid.
No, but I don't understand that either, because I think this was brought up on Lewis's channel again. I'd kind of understand this if him and Botman had a bit of back and forth and Botman had done something and he was getting his licks back. I think this is the first time they'd interacted in the entire 32 minutes leading up to this point. I don't. Nothing had happened up until that point. And also, like, what are you frustrated about? Because it wasn't even like at that point he was playing that badly in terms of we just weren't getting him the ball because we were doing stupid hoofball to him against three centre backs.
That's another thing I don't understand, which we have.
No, that I don't understand. But like, but what my point is that what is there to be frustrated about 32 and a half minutes into a game where you can say the only thing you can maybe be frustrated about is you haven't had as many touches on the ball as you want. Who cares? Like, this is what I'm saying. It's a mentality thing, and the sell or keep conversation is a completely separate conversation. I know some people are going to say sell, some people are going to say keep. I don't care. My stance with this is the same as it has been for a few weeks now. Go and get that number 9 in, and then he can either learn off that number 9, he can leave, whatever. He can play 200 minutes. Just go and get that number 9 in of like who you know you can rely on. Like none of this elapsed shit, none of this Strand Larson shit that I heard recommended today. None of this fucking who else have we been linked with? None of this like Sesko shit. Like go and get Osimhen, go and get Isak, go and get Gyökeres, one of those 3, and then I could care less what happens to Jackson because either he will learn off one of those 3 and he'll get better, or he won't and you'll sell him and it doesn't matter because he's the backup. So who cares?
Yeah, I think the problem with this, I think the problem with Jackson is something that we've seen already for the vast majority of the time when it comes to Jackson talk. This brother gets too emotional in the game. You can see it, bro. Yeah, he gets angry very easily. And this stuff that he's done now is only this is not the first time he's done it, bro. You know what I mean? He consistently gets yellow cards for us, right? Because of his lack of emotional control, right? And until he's able to control his emotions, there's no point of me having him as a star in this team.
Nope. Right? I mean, it's probably over now. Like new season.
Yeah, and like his season is done. His season is done.
Not even just his season. Like he misses the next 2 games and the first game of next season.
Yeah. If he's still here.
If he's still here, or if he's still in the Premier League, even if he gets sent to another team, or still missing the first game. But like that's not good enough because obviously next season isn't like the first game isn't massive, but it's a good starting off point. And obviously it depends who you play, but you're. Like it's just petulant, and I'll be honest. I said this on Lewis's channel. I would not play him. I said this earlier. I wouldn't start him again. I wouldn't play him in the Conference League.
Yep.
He doesn't deserve Conference League.
You think he will?
Yeah.
No, he probably will. He probably will, but I wouldn't.
I don't know if the manager will.
No, he will.
Chris, do you think the manager played George over him or something like that? And
no,
Chris,
he spent the entire season playing Jackson, even when he was bad, and like refused to play Mark Hugh.
It's just what he's done today. Like he's really let down the team. So I'm thinking,
but he has, but it doesn't matter. Like the manager will play him still because he kept playing him at the start of the season when he was like, not the start of the season, but like even when he had games or moments where he wasn't playing.
No, we can't play Good yet because I don't know. Is Mark Good like just injured still, or just
he's in training?
He's in training now.
I wish he was fit because he deserved to actually play the Conference League to the end.
I just think Jackson has the arrogance of Cristiano Ronaldo with the technical ability of like B-Tech Peter Crouch. Like I don't understand who he thinks he is. I swear to God, I don't know who he thinks he is. And then he has the whiny mentality of an egal supporting Arsenal. And yes, shots fired. This man was crying about a banner from the Liverpool side today. That man was crying about a banner about always the bridesmaid, never the bride. That was wild.
That was a funny. I thought it was a funny banner.
My God, have a bit of backbone, man. Dude, we're a hockey country in Canada. Jesus Christ, man, have a backbone.
Oh, he's Canadian. Yeah.
Speaking on Igal, big up Igal for this clip because this is the clip I was talking about. CP.
Of course, Igal has this clip. Yeah, of course, you can hold that. Yeah, you can hold that, bro.
And that was not.
Oh,
yeah.
Damn.
That should have been a red card. That should have been given a red card, but like it wasn't. But, like I guess earlier, that doesn't.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, that doesn't.
We're not denying Jackson should be in the red.
Yeah, that's a shit decision, but it doesn't excuse like because I saw some people saying, "Oh,
Kulusevski one."
100%," but like again, 2 or 3
Oh,
wrong
shit, did he?
decisions.
I didn't know that. Damn. Okay.
2 or 3 wrong decisions shouldn't mean you then give another wrong decision, if that makes sense.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like,
But
these are all bad decisions.
That
and they
was
should have
bad.
been
That
given.
one was because
Oh, it was. They
they
should have been
He
given.
ended up getting
behind
stitches
it.
for it or some shit.
We
I
don't know
forgot
he
what
was
it was.
bleeding. That's
Yeah,
illegal in
he
UFC. That
um,
shit.
And by
But,
the
Go
way,
ahead,
like, yeah.
Sophie, go ahead.
Yeah, like no, I was just saying, like, dude, where is he getting this arrogance from?
oh,
He barely scored. He just scored 1 goal against Everton. He barely scored before then. He doesn't even do link up play. He's shit aerially. His dribbling is gone now. Where does he get this arrogance?
You know, you're
Man,
talking
no,
about
I
arrogance.
don't
You're
I
also
don't
missed
know.
that.
I personally blame the sporting director. You know, I think it is. It's like
Yeah, because he
It's-
doesn't have competition. I get you.
Yeah.
kind of that, but it's not even just that. It's because you've given. It's kind of that, but it's also you've given the keys to the kingdom in the striker position to a 22 when he joined. I think he was 22-year-old
Mhm.
kid
Yeah, who's never
Who-
played strike. Yeah.
who's played
Inexperienced
who's
too.
played a year and a half or 2 years. I don't know whether he played 6 months to a year at Osasuna on loan, but he's like played like a year or 2 years worth of football. Only like half of that, a year max, was at striker, maybe even 6 months. I can't quite remember off the top of my head.
Yeah.
You gave the keys to the kingdom. And it's like that's going to happen. It's the same way. Like you see guys who, you see young players get this money, and all of a sudden it affects like it changes them. And that's the
No.
thing. It's like I think if you've given him, like if we'd have brought Jackson in, and we'd not even necessarily Osimhen, but you have Jackson and let's just say
Rudiger.
someone like a Vardy or something. I think his attitude is way different because all of a sudden then he's not the main guy at that point. Let's say he's not necessarily the main guy. He's not the guy who everything relies on. And it's the same problem with the mentality. Yes, there is a mentality issue in this team, but it stems from the same place. So these sporting directors have made this mentality issue bigger because you've got guys that like for example, I talked about it today. Our captain or our vice captain is fighting players on a football pitch when we're 1-0 down in the first half after like 35 minutes. That's our vice captain,
Wait,
who is pretty
was
much now
playing?
because he's
Enzo.
that's Enzo. Enzo.
Oh,
that's
with
because he's
Bruno.
basically-
Yeah. My bad.
He's basically not even just Bruno. He was trying to fight someone else in the first half as well. He's basically our full-time captain because he's in the first team now. Isn't. So you've got him fighting players on the football pitch. You've got one of our starting centre backs trying to fight players as he has tried to do all season. Because there is a mentality issue in this team, and you see it, and it's like I'm actually surprised that they kind of came back in that second half and fought, especially some of them like Colwell and like a couple of others because of that mentality issue. But yeah, like you see it's a problem, and instead of addressing it like they should have done, and like I said, this comes back to like I just get the Osimhen thing in, and then see what happens with Jackson, because I think with Osimhen there, that has a positive effect on him both mentally and football wise, like in terms of technical ability.
No, I get you. Like I think
you're
if
setting
we
things up to fail because
No, I agree with you. I think if we somehow get Champions League, I want this fan base to agree on one thing. We gegenpress the sporting directors for that rumor for Rudiger. And also, Rodrigo didn't play today. He's young, but he knows how to win. He got the dog in him in terms of you gegenpress for 3
Wait,
signings.
Rodrigo's
The 3
leaving?
signings are. Oh, you don't know?
Yeah, I
He
wouldn't
didn't play
surprise if he-
No, there's reports that.
I mean, if
he's
he's available and Chelsea get Champions League football,
Chris,
yeah.
Chris, there's reports
I
that came
think
out.
it's all going to depend on Alonso coming in, like what he decides to do.
Yeah.
There
So
is
the
gonna be a
report was
bit of
there's
retreat
going to be
in that
one
team.
meeting with Alonso with Rodrigo, and that's going to decide everything in terms of him staying or not. But there's 3 signings. This fan base, I don't care if you're Maresca in or Maresca out. There's 3 signings you need to gegenpress during the summer. I don't
Big
care
up
what
Danish
order you want to
Maldini.
do it, but these are the 3. These are the 3. I hate you.
Smash up like likes, guys.
You said big up Danish Mal. I thought you were doing Danish Maldini in terms of Christensen. Sorry.
Also bring him in too. Why not? I mean,
No.
he's gonna probably
These are
go
the
there.
3. No. These are not. No. I don't want a period. I don't need to worry about someone on the period. So the 3 are, Rudiger, Rodrigo, and Osimhen. I don't care in what order you want to do it. Just gegenpress these 3 men. Okay. I don't care what you think about the manager. I don't care what you think about other players. I want the same hymn sheet from every person that's a Chelsea fan during the summer to gegenpress these sporting directors for these 3 signings because these are available. Rodrigo's going to have a talk with Alonso. If that goes bad, gegenpress. Obviously,
And-
Osherman getting press.
Big up Lewis. I agree.
Sorry.
Off the back of that as well, by
Big
the
up
way.
Lewis, I agree.
Off,
I love how you
Big
say
up
you don't
Lewis.
want someone who's on their period all the time, but we have one, and his name is Levi Colwell.
Yeah.
No, no, no.
Whining and bitching
He-
and complaining.
No. Yeah, but he doesn't miss games because of a little tummy. Oh, I got a tummy. I got to miss another game because I got tummy ache. Yeah, that's what I mean.
I
don't
would
want to
rather
miss
you
that.
miss games and come back and put in good performances.
what was I say? Oh, yeah, I agree.
You know, you ever call me that on this channel ever again? That's from Sarcasm City. You don't ever call me that.
I agree with
There's
what
one
CP
there.
said. And I
There's
also
links-
want to
there's
like.
links out there.
Yeah,
It's not going to happen. Like it's never going to happen. But the thing I want to say as well, like, and I agree with what CP said, and I also want to say what Chelsea fans as well should be on the same hymn sheet about is if when these signings don't happen and we go and get like when Liam Delap comes in, I don't want to see people like, oh, this is good. I'm happy for this. No, fuck that. Fuck off. Stop accepting shit like this because you're the problem. You're the reason why we've got fucking Sancho here doing nothing and we've got an obligation to pay 25 mil. You're the reason why we've got people here like Dewsbury Hall and it's fine. And we've got the two Monaco clowns and it's fine. And we've got Robert Sanchez as goalkeeper and it's fine. You're the reason because you accept shit. No more accepting shit. If Liam Delap comes in, I'm pissed. Unless Jackson's going as well and we're getting Osimhen as well, which I doubt. If Gittins comes in, I'm pissed. If we get like I don't know, if we go for centre back and we get in, Williams as well, I'm kind of pissed. Centre backs, if we go and get like Houston and that's the only centre back we get, I'm pissed.
Also,
We should,
sorry,
if we can't.
also,
Go on.
So JP saying we can't because of the wages. First of all, Rudiger's on 240 at Madrid, and if he's leaving Madrid, he's going to be fine with a bit of a pay cut. And if we get Champions League,
Wait, how do we know?
Most
Fine with the pay cut.
We might.
I don't think anyone else is going to pay him that much.
Yeah,
babe. I don't think anyone's going to pay him that much.
Hypothetical that
Like
if
I'm not
everyone
saying
smashes
you
the
go to
lights,
Saudi.
we'll
Dude,
get
I'm not.
76.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, that's true. But I'm saying if he wants to stay here in Europe, I don't think he's gonna. He'll do like I'm saying like a 20K, 30K tops. I'm not saying like something outrageous. So that's around the 200, 210K that these players are going to be on if we get Champions League. Rodrigo's on 220 in Spain with your bonuses, by the way, for Rodrigo. He's on cheap wages right now. Gagan press these guys. I don't care.
I didn't even realize.
I'm doing typology.
We can't get an Oshman. Your Chris is on like 40K a week, I think.
Also, JC, I don't give a shit what Palmer wants. I don't want a player that scored one more goal than Carlton Morris did for Luton last season. I don't want a player that has one less goal than Rodrigo got for Leeds 2 years ago. Because none of you man want Rodrigo, who's playing in friggin' the UAE or something, Qatar or something right now. None of you want Carlton Morris. None of you want Carlton Morris, who's playing in League One next season, who got one less goal than Delap has this season. But you want Delap because he played in the City Academy or something, or he played with these players and they like him. And I don't give a shit what they like. I want the best for this football club. They'll like Osimhen because he's good and he knows how to win. They'll learn to live with that, I think. When they're shining up, if he takes us to the title, when they're shining that nice little medal that they get, and they're shining the title, and they're looking, and they can see their face in the Premier League title, I think they'll like Osimhen then.
Plus, I feel like we'd get the best out of Neto if we have an Oshman who's good in air as well.
Yeah,
I feel like we got Neto at the wrong time
today. The crosses
he
today,
was making some great crosses there.
Did I say, wouldn't it have been great if we had a striker there?
An Oshman mainly.
No, when you look at like, it's not just Neto though. It's
Reece.
almost a team in
Coco,
general.
that's
like,
facts.
you look
take
at
us.
you look at
like
Yeah,
you look at
Enzo, he can ping a ball.
I don't mind Delap. He's not my first choice, but I don't mind. But you look at, for example, Enzo. Enzo creates so many chances that an Osimhen probably puts away. You know, you look at Palmer. He creates. Enzo Fernandez and Cole Palmer are huge creators for the team. They're up there statistically as some of the best creators in the league. Yet they don't have much assists to show for it. Why is that? Because we don't have a proper striker. If you get them a proper striker, these guys bask in that. And we're probably talking about them in a much more different light than a lot of rival fans are talking about them. You have a look at a Jadon Sancho. If he were to stay, Jadon Sancho isn't a goal-scoring winger. He's a creator. Create chances for Osimhen. He benefits him. Benefits Netzel. Benefits Reece James. Fuck, it might even benefit Lavia to an extent because Lavia can create from deep through.
He can do the
balls through
odd
the
pass,
midfield.
yeah. Even Caicedo can do the odd pass.
By the way, I've just got to say, he's obviously not the reason why we lost, and this isn't me trying to go too hard on him, but like, brother, he came on today, and I swear to God, I've never really noticed the trying to beat a man multiple times thing. There was a moment in the second half where he did this, where he beats the guy, has a moment where he can curl it far post to shoot, puts his foot on the ball and waits for the second defender to come near him so he can beat a guy on the dribble again for no reason. I lost my head when he did that.
Oh, Mr. Jadon Sancho.
Yeah, of course, Mr. No, bro.
I told you, man.
Bro,
I didn't want to meet him. I thought 25 minutes, I didn't care.
Put your foot on the ball and try and beat a guy again. Pause.
Scott, you know what I think it is? He thinks it's like FIFA Street from PS2 times where
That's
you're trying to get the
bro,
property.
You reckon we can try use Jadon like for a deal? Like, you know, we buy him and then like swap him.
Yeah, Chris, we know what the deal is.
I don't think they're gonna do that.
As Ahmed would say, we want to keep the bag from the fries because that would be for Gittins. So we want
and I'd rather keep Sancho.
Yeah, I don't want Gittins. I don't want to keep pointing that.
Yeah, if we buy Sancho, I'd rather keep him than get Gittins.
No, definitely. I agree.
There's not a single
Final Gittins is not. Final Gittins is not. Right.
Actually,
We got George. I don't think it's much
as the
different.
host, as the host of the show, it's time to turn against the host of the show. So we're gonna do the Romontada right now.
Huh?
Sorry. Yeah. Romontada. We're gonna.
Marshall's got that.
You know what I'm gonna bring up. I'm gonna bring Steven to the.
We're not doing this.
Bring me into what? Bring me into a what?
Dictatorship right here, man. Dictatorship.
You forget. We run. This is a state propaganda paid for stream.
Maybe CP not announce like what you gotta do and just do it.
Yeah, no.
Like we got a
this
dictator
is one
here.
of those moments, Chris.
You got a terrorist there, man.
Chris's tactics are.
Wait, my tactics?
Yeah.
Chris has tactics.
I'm no dictator.
Yeah, I typed it out. You can't keep my voice down like that. Okay.
Oh, never mind. I thought you were gonna talk about something else. Never mind. Go ahead.
No. Steve, what's your opinion on Gyökeres? Do you think like he's better than Delap? Like, what do you think? Like, do you think he would adapt well enough? Like, what are your thoughts on this? I want to hear your thoughts.
Gyökeres is very good. Yes.
Would you think it's a definite upgrade if he came to the Prem over Delap?
Yeah.
Okay, because we have the host of the show. We had this 3 weeks ago. I couldn't believe this man said, Gyökeres, man, like we know the Portuguese league and attackers. Would he really be better than Delap? And me and Scott.
Marshall, can I ask you a question?
Not even exactly what I said, but
Marshall, can I ask you a question? I take it from this you'd want Marshall, you'd want Delap over Gyökeres, yes? Pretty much. Yeah.
I thought you just clapped.
Why? Hang on, I'm interested in knowing why.
I just don't want to risk going for a Gyökeres because of the history of Portuguese attackers, or not Portuguese attackers coming from the Portuguese league. It's not been good.
Okay.
And I
is that the only reason, or is there like anything else?
That's pretty much the only reason. I just don't want to risk it. I'd rather just go for a Delap or an Osimhen, who have done it in. Osimhen is my number one choice because he's done it in 3 different leagues now, and Delap, who
he is.
Liga 1, Serie A, and now the Turkish league.
I think he's done it in 4.
Well, Bundesliga he barely played. That was like.
And then in terms
he
of
played in Belgium.
In terms of Liam Delap, I think Liam Delap's profile benefits our style of play and Maresca's style of play. I think you can get both and have like a good dynamic there. I also just think that you look at what Liam Delap is doing for an Ipswich side. If you put better quality around him, potentially he could be just as good.
Fair enough. Scott, I do disagree. The only thing,
Scott, you brought the counterpoints. Remember how Luton Town's striker is one less than Luton Town? So would you say Luton Town's striker, if he was in a better team, would work out?
The other thing I will say is I watched and I know this doesn't always tell this whole story, but I watched a comp of a Gyökeres game when he was at Coventry against Watford, and I think him and Delap are similar in some ways in terms of like how they thrive. They obviously thrive with spacing behind. I think they're both physical strikers who can hold the ball up. I think that Delap's slightly better in the air, but I think like I actually don't think Gyökeres is going to have a problem translating to this league because he's already played in this country.
Yeah,
and he's already, in terms of a physicality standpoint, I don't think he's going to have an issue. I think him and Delap are going to have the same issues in this team in terms of translating from a team where they've got a lot of space in behind to having not a lot of space in behind, not having that much space in behind all the time. So I think like they're going to have the same issue. So I'm just looking at who I think is the better striker overall, and I think Gyökeres is way better than Delap currently.
Yeah,
but I do agree. I think Osimhen is definitely Osimhen and Isak for me are still 1A and 1B. Like they should be the two guys at the top of the list. And then like I'd have Gyökeres third. With like David, even though he's probably going elsewhere. In fact, I think he's almost certainly going elsewhere at like fourth. But yeah, like it's we need to address it, man, and properly. I'm not hearing this Delap and Sesko shit.
Go ahead, Chris.
Oh no, I was gonna say with the Isak thing, like, is Isak like gonna leave? Maybe like.
If
How
he
much-
didn't
Not
like
necessarily,
Champions League, it's a possibility, but
I don't.
getting
Like,
I
do they
will-
need to sell?
Barcelona is saving up for this guy. Let's.
I would be willing to bet. I'd be willing to bet good money that he is still with Newcastle by the end of this summer transfer window.
Next, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I
Yeah.
was assuming because he would cost a shit ton to Chelsea.
He,
I feel like
of the
140.
three, I said this to Steve earlier. Of the three, I think you could get him for 100 maybe, but I think of the
You
three,
reckon?
the three big players that they were looking at selling potentially, I think he is the last one to leave. I think they like Gordon or Bruno get sold before they do, because I think for both of those guys, they've shown that they've got adequate replacements in Tonali and in Barnes.
If we also if we do get like Osimhen, and I do want Osimhen, he is like actually my first choice still. Either like we get another striker or we get rid of Jackson and like I don't know, swap it in for Delap or something, because AFCON's around the corner again,
Swap
right?
him for Delap.
Not straight swap, because I don't think Jackson would accept it. Going to a relegated team, but like I'm just saying, sell Jackson and buy Delap or something with an Osimhen.
I thought
I'm
you
just...
literally meant a swap.
No, because I don't
Oh,
think
yeah.
that just
Okay, I
I
realistically
would
not
love that. I
happening.
would actually love that.
No, it's yeah,
that
like
would
but
be finesse.
Jackson would say no, so like it ain't happening. I think like he ain't going to a relegated side. But yeah, like I feel
I
like
think
we have
you'll
to like
loan
either
out
swap out
Jackson
Jackson or
next
get a
year.
third striker.
I think you're gonna loan out Jackson next. How many years do they have left on his contract? Jackson.
500, dude. Don't worry.
7
He's
or
here for another
something.
8 years, my brother.
Yeah,
He's
here
gonna
for
get
a while.
loaned out just like Felix was, because Felix has how many years left on his deal?
Oh, wait, it's actually 8 years left. Oh shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. But he's on, I think, 120.
Yeah, we're
now, or
prison contract FC. That's what we are.
By the way, this isn't true. By the way, like not the maths. Like if he wants 10 mil a year, that's less than 300k a week.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That's why, like,
Because
for me-
I've just had a look. Like I don't know if it quite adds up the same way. Because obviously I know they don't play a full year, but like if it's still like they get paid weekly in terms of the 52 weeks in a year, bro, 300k a week is 15 and a half, nearest makes no difference, million. So he'd be on less than 300k a week. So there's no, the whole Osimhen thing is weird to me, because there's no, unless he is just shit, which I don't think he will be, there's no downside. Like he wants to play for the club. He is a proven goal scorer in multiple leagues. He's a proven winner in multiple leagues. His wages aren't even crazy for a striker in that position in terms of what's available. He's the best
25,
available
yeah.
striker currently. Like I don't fucking
Don't
he's
think
not.
Jackson is older than Osimhen.
not.
No,
Jackson's not older than Osimhen.
Yeah,
Osimhen's
Osimhen's
26.
older. Yeah, Osimhen's
Yeah,
older.
yeah.
Wow, Cole Palmer's got 9
Yeah.
years. Good luck, mate. Getting out of
Jackson's
this club.
24.
Jackson's got 9
Yeah.
years. After this will be 8 then. Damn.
Yeah, because they renewed the contracts. They did a new deal, Chris, for both Jackson
Yeah,
and
Jackson's
Palmer.
gonna get loaned out next year for y'all. He's gonna get
Unless
loaned
someone
out.
wants to
No,
buy him
No,
for
no.
60 plus mil.
We can sell him to some mid-table team for
But
like
this is,
40
but
million.
this is what I'm
Peace out.
saying.
I'd
Like,
still pay him this.
this is the thing. This is what I'm saying. Like, if
Bonuses, yeah.
if Chelsea get Champions League, there's no excuses for not getting Osimhen. You have the money at that point. Like
Even-
maybe I hear it last summer where it's like, okay, his agent was, making it difficult. We wanted to loan him out, where Napoli would pay part of the wages, we pay part of it, and then in the summer we'll sign him. There was the option there to buy, because we wanted to play around the wages. And I get it. And I also understand you don't want to pay enormous wages for a player in the off chance that potentially he flops, which has happened. You know, Chelsea really have been hurt by that Lukaku deal. Like that was a really, really bad deal. But
Marshall,
if you get Champions League, though, you have no excuse. You have the wages. You have
Marshall,
everything.
I don't think you have an excuse. I'll be honest. I don't think you have an excuse without Champions League because, like, we're seeing that you end up losing so much. Like, you end up losing so much by not being in the Champions League anyway. That it's worth the trade-off. And I'll be honest, if you're struggling for money, I'm looking at our wages now. If you terminate Mudrik's contract, you get rid of Nkunku. That's already 300k a week, near as like 295k a week. You then sell Tosin, that's an extra 120. That's enough to pay his wages. You got rid of 3 players, none of which.
What about Ben Chilwell? He's on 100k a week.
No, but I'm talking about players you can sell easily. By the way,
bro.
Oh,
I'm talking like you've got. Well, obviously Mudryk is a criminal, and then the other 2 are easy to sell because one is actually wanted and one you bought for nothing. Like, you just made 400k a week. Like, you cleared 400k a week worth of wages just by selling those 3 players or terminating one's contract. It's like they got to get Osimhen, and it's like you got to make the necessary sacrifices for this team to get to where you want to get to, and that's what these football directors have shown them, and the owners are showing they're not willing to do. You can't, like, if you want to get Champions League, you need to get players that are going to guarantee or as close to a guarantee as you can get for Champions League. Osimhen does that. Like with Osimhen in this team this year, if Osimhen is in the team this year, we're challenging, like, we're potentially above Arsenal, or at least in and around there. Like, we already have qualified basically for the Champions League because we probably beat Ipswich at least once. I can't even think of the other games that where Jackson missed chance, or where we, like, just having a striker there, we probably get extra points. But it's like, for me, it's just a no-brainer. And like I said, whatever sacrifice you have to make, if you have to sacrifice a Jackson, or you have to sacrifice a Colwill, or you have to sacrifice fuck knows who else, like a Pedro Neto, I don't care. I do not care, because the striker position is the most important position in this team.
You guys know how I am. I always try to understand the whys, not necessarily just try to, like, you know, shove my opinion down people's throats. It's okay. Why didn't you get Osimhen? You're saying because it's the wages. Okay, fair enough. I can see why it makes sense. You don't want to go over a certain wage structure. You don't want to take the risk on paying a player for him to potentially maybe not, you know, be successful in this team. We've already seen it with a few players that we've gotten into this team where it's like, okay, this isn't working out. You know, we look at Malo Gusto, you know, we talked about this in the last stream. We looked at Malo Gusto last season versus this season, and now we're like, oh shit, like, we thought we had a gem here and now it's not working out. Same thing with Badiashile. Like, there are examples of this. And then the other thing being is that, and this is a good point, is you still have these players that are on the wages, that are hogging up wages that, okay, fair enough. Maybe these are the reasons why you don't want to pay the Osimhen wages, because maybe you don't necessarily have the money readily available. But if you get Champions League, you're going to have extra money. Now there's no excuse.
True.
Now you can't say shit. So get it done in the summer.
You know what? This isn't an excuse.
And if you don't, but no, I'm just saying, get it done in the summer. And if you don't, there is no excuse. You now you just aren't serious.
One of these players
is so defining on so many of these things. But go ahead again.
One of these players is an excuse for me anyway, because you gave him a new contract 2 years ago.
Oh, Chilwell, yeah,
or a year ago. So that doesn't fly, because this is a player that had no future at his club. He didn't even have a future when he was kind of playing under Pochettino, because he either sucked or was injured. So when he played left back, he was shit as well. But even so, like,
yeah.
But you should never have signed him to that new deal ever.
I agree. Yeah.
And so you signed him on that new deal. He's now got, what is it, like the 200k a week wages? That's on you. You get no excuse for that. You shouldn't have signed that. You shouldn't have signed him to a new contract when you had no need to. Like, and at the end of the day, like I said, and if someone says I've forgotten about players agent fees, release clause, signing on bonus, no, I haven't, because the players I mentioned that we will sell have the same thing coming in. So, like, we're not selling Nkunku for free, and his agent's not getting no money when he moves to Bayern or whoever. But yeah, like I said, you got to make sacrifices. You got to be willing to do it. And these owners have shown time and time again and his sports directors shown time and time again they're not willing to do it. Elise, another one, just won a league title, being the best winger on the team that won the league title.
But I mean,
the best winger on a league title winning team, and these man went, nah, you're only worth like 120.
The best player. The best player.
I'll potentially best player, but he's definitely. I don't watch him regularly enough. I just know he's been their best winger. Best winger on that team, and they went, no, you're worth about 120, 130k a week.
Wouldn't you say the best player, Sonny, Steve?
Don't ever say that again.
I know, I'm just going to trigger you. That's why.
But what I will say, it's like, and with the Elise thing, like, that one annoyed me, right? I really wanted Elise at the club. He's one of my favorite players that I'm, in modern day football. What's gonna be even more damning is if we're to believe the outlets and what they said, that apparently we weren't focused with Elise because the main plan was Esteval. Bro, if Esteval ends up being a flop at Chelsea, that Elise misfire is going to look so much worse. So much worse. So
it doesn't even matter.
Yeah, I mean,
it doesn't matter. If we don't make Champions League this season because they wanted to be cheap in key areas where we needed to upgrade the team.
That's true, dude, yeah.
Then it just doesn't even matter. Like, look, thank you, Leicester, for getting results to help us a little bit. But
and Southampton. Shout out Southampton.
I really don't think the Southampton result matters. Because City have Bournemouth and Fulham. If they get 4 points, we're not going to leapfrog them on goal difference.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It is what it is. But hey, man, we hadn't done anything stupid for about a month, and that ended today. Is what it is. But Jackson should never play for this football club again.
Yep.
I saw people debating whether or not that's a red card, but I don't know. I'm kind of okay with a sport where if you just lock eyes with a defender and throw out an elbow, I'm kind of cool with you getting sent off.
Mm-hmm.
Like, any sport.
Yeah. No,
any
I
sport.
agree.
For like sheer stupidity, if nothing else. Like, let's be honest. We've seen that get a yellow and people keep playing. It's not like that's called all the time. But I'm kind of okay if it was, so I'm not going to sit there and complain. But it is what it is, man. I mean, I feel like we played fine once we were 10v11. But considering we were 10v11 because somebody wanted to throw the people's elbow, there it is.
Man hit the Judas effect. By the way, I had a look. Just before you answer, I had a look, by the way. If you make it into the Champions League and lose every single game, go out of the league phase, you earn £15.7 million. That pays for Osimhen's wages.
Mm-hmm. That's what
Oh no, Scott, did you not see the numbers
that
that came out? Did you not see the numbers? So the Inter-Barca game, that tie alone made £18 million, which is more than what we're getting for the entire Conference League run.
Yeah, no, it scales.
Oh, you get fuck all for being a Conference League. My point is, like, we could lose every single game in the Champions League and still make enough money to pay for Osimhen's wages. So I don't really give a shit what he wants. Pay him the 350k a week. I don't care. If you make Champions League, he pays for it himself. And that's like we lose everything.
Choosers as well, right? Like, say we don't make it, because I haven't ever thought we were going to make it, to be honest. So us being in this position, 2 games left, let's be honest, looks a lot more hopeful than when we had 7 left. So I would take it. That being said, I still don't think we're going to make it. But when we don't, it's not like we're going to have a ton of options at striker anyways. Like, Gyökeres is linked to Arsenal. Newcastle are going to make it. So I don't know why people even entertain the idea of the Saudis selling you Isak. Like, that's not going to happen.
Nope.
Mm-hmm.
The lap, yes, release clause, cool. That's all well and good. But Liverpool also could just throw up the release clause, and they're actually in Champions League and have like a functional good team. You know what I mean? I just don't think we're going to be able to compete with other clubs to sign some of these players. And for whatever reason, a market around Osimhen hasn't developed. And if it's because of the wages, then hey, we just have to pay the wages and get over it.
Sorry,
Mhm.
Peter. Just a question for you. Sorry if you don't mind.
What's up?
Why do you think we still at this point don't like? Because I remember you thinking that we would beat Manchester United, so that's a 3-point, right? And assuming other teams also get 3 points, sure. And then what do you think we're gonna draw or lose to Forest? Is that kind of what your thought process is?
So my original projection was we would draw against Liverpool, lose today, and then win the last two. But I was thinking Forest would pick up more points than they have. But I just don't like the idea of going to that ground on the last day.
Fine,
needing
I get you.
needing a win to match Villa's result, because Villa are playing the only teams in the league that care about the Prem less than the relegated team. Like United and Spurs are so bad, it's almost embarrassing.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I just don't have trust with us to get 2 wins, especially now. Like our striker got a red, so who knows who's playing up front. And we're gonna run up against teams who are just gonna employ shameless deep blocks for no reason, you know?
Yeah.
Who would you play
And
up top
that's
there?
playing to the strengths of Forest, if anything.
George.
Not looking great.
George, yeah, because I would put George. You can't play Sancho in the United game as well, so
How stupid it is, though. And this just highlights the incompetence. And Matisse said this on his review earlier. The fact we are having in the the most important area of like the season or time of the year in terms of the season, our most important fixtures, we are having to rely on an 18-year-old winger converted into a striker because we don't have another senior striker.
Yep.
Yeah.
it'd probably be Neto though. In all fairness, top because he's
But,
been
like,
playing
whoever
that top
it is,
quite
right?
a bit. I think
Whoever
George
it
might
is.
have a chance playing though
I was
on the
going to say,
wing.
our option, Chris. If everyone was fit, our options are a terrible Nkunku, a
No, thank you.
18-year-old winger winger converted into a striker,
Right.
a 26 or whatever he is winger converted into a striker, or another 18-year-old striker. Those are our options to play striker because Jackson's
There's
out
always
suspended.
Reece James as well, man, up top, the big tank.
Look, whatever you want to say, like the point is, this is not the situation
Oh, so
we should be staking the short-term future of the club on, right? And whether we make it or not, what I really don't want to happen, almost more so I think than not making it, would be making it and pretending like the process we used to get to this point
is working.
is of sound logic and reasoning.
Yep.
The worst thing to do would be to double down on squad building like this. Because, yes, we can die to make it into the Champions League, and that's great, right? But what are we going to do the next season? Like, how are we realistically going to punch through this glass ceiling and actually have sustained success throughout a league campaign for the first time in 8 years? It's just not a good spot to be in. It seems kind of obvious to say it, but this is where we are, and this is where I feel like we've been for the last 2 seasons. I don't know. It is what it is. It's not great.
No, it's not. I mean, I still have hope that, we're going to make it. I still believe we are going to make Champions League. I just don't see, like, I know we're worried about United, but you look at United's recent games, like they genuinely just don't care. All their eggs are in that Europa League basket. I do essentially think they're going to throw the game. But then the big game is going to be the Nottingham Forest game by that time, which is going to be the deciding factor if we make UCL or not. And at that point, we're going to have to go and win the game. Well, we could probably get away with a draw.
Forest
on that
will as
if we
well.
win it.
Forest will have to try to win as well.
It
But that's
depends
the thing.
because
Morello.
like you
If
gotta
we have
forget
to
about
go-
Aston Villa. We might have to win both.
But this is the problem, right? If
Yeah.
we have to go out there and win against Forest, we play in Forest's favor.
Yes.
That's the problem. Because
Not
that's the-
necessarily.
Yes, because
this-
no.
No,
Marcel,
because
hold
they
on
might
to-
have to. They might have to win that day too. By the way, because Aston Villa.
Chris,
Aston Villa-
they average the least possession in the league. They're not going to go out there and go play on the front foot against the Chelsea.
Oh no. Okay. Sorry. Yeah.
That's
my
what he
bad.
meant by it. Yeah.
Yeah.
We're
Because
gonna
I feel like
play
they're
in
gonna
their
need the
favor
3
because
points.
we're
still,
gonna
though,
have to
just as
attack.
much as
We're
that.
gonna have
Yeah,
to try to get
they're
the
going to
goal.
need the 3 points, but they average the least possession in the entire division.
They
No,
want
okay,
us to
yeah.
possess the ball. They want us to try to create chances.
It's not
so they can
working out
catch us
too
on the
well for them
counterattack.
lately.
But that's because they're up against like a Leicester side that, let's be frank, like they're not the best attacking team.
I think they haven't won in the last 5 games. They've lost, drawn.
Let me look at their
Like,
last results.
they've been
actually.
in
Who
really
have they
bad
been
form.
playing?
I
I know
know
they
They're
lost.
in
They
the
won
worst
that.
form in the
goes in
top
our favour.
7.
Pardon?
They're in the worst form in the top 7.
Yeah.
Probably top 10,
Yeah,
to be
they drew. So they drew to. Besides drawing to Leicester, they drew to Forest. Then they lost to Brentford.
hmm
Then they.
The last 2
just
wins
beat
is Man
Tot-
United
Then they
and
beat
Tottenham.
Tottenham. Tottenham was their last win, and before Tottenham, they lost to Everton.
Yeah.
They're without
what
Murillo as
else?
well, which has been
They
a really
lost to
good defender
Villa.
for them.
They lost to Villa as
Yeah.
well. They've just been losing, and just
Yeah.
Tottenham's been their
That's
only
why
win.
we should just go now.
And
Yeah.
United,
Sure.
they got 1 win against United.
I get it. Their form is bad, right?
Mhm.
I understand. I just don't have faith in this group away from home in these spots like today to do anything.
Peter,
That's
that's sorry. No, go on. Sorry, I cut you off.
No, what's up?
No, Peter, that's what I was talking about. Lewis's stream before the game and during the watch log and I don't know, half an hour ago. I was surprised how confident Chelsea fans were generally.
We
going into
beat
the game,
we beat a team
considering
that
it was at St. James.
we beat a team that was hungover and people lost their sense of rationality.
Yeah, I was gonna say like
I don't think we thought we were gonna win. I thought we could
Oh,
get
today?
a draw. That's what.
Oh,
that's
no,
the
I
con-
bet
that's
that's
what
what
the
it was.
confidence.
I mean, if you wanted to localize
I
it
was
to this
confident.
channel, I don't think
Yeah.
any of us expected to win except Marshall, who's delusionally.
Yeah, I was
confident.
saying a draw. I was saying a draw.
I think you
I
need
think we
to get
could
it,
draw.
though, right? But like, yes, Steve, this is what I've been saying. Like, we've gone there with the best team in the league, playing a team 1 point above the relegation zone and held defeats before. Let alone it's an early kickoff after a Europa League tie and they have to travel up north for it. Like,
I think
it seemed like
I
a
think that's
scheduled loss.
I was gonna say I think that's the 4th year in a row we've lost to Newcastle.
We haven't beaten them at home since
Eddie
21,
House
have we?
4 for
Yeah.
4 at home
Yeah.
against you guys.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think
we
you
lost
said
with
that earlier.
Potter. We lost with Potter, right?
Yeah.
Then there's the
That's
4-1.
We lost
4-1 last season, yeah.
because the year we were European champions, we beat them 3-0 because that was right before Eddie Howe took over. That was
Yeah,
like
we
one of
had
Steve
some-
Bruce's last games.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
that would have
so
been 2020.
basically we have
That would
like,
have been 2021, wouldn't it?
And then when
Yeah,
they had
so
Pepe and
yeah,
Cisse,
it's
man,
before
they
yours.
cooked us. They cooked
we have a
us.
win
Yes,
there.
yes. So then
21.
that'd be 21, 22, 22, 23, 23, 24, and then 24, 25. Yeah, we've lost 4 years in a row.
Yeah, top 4 years.
Yeah, so we have I want to say 2 wins at that stadium, that ground in the last 15 years.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
It's something really bad like that.
Bro, I'll
you
record it.
have-
Like I said this before, I'll record it against these last 4 teams we're facing outside of Forest. I'll record it against 3 of those teams. It's absolutely shocking. And these are the teams we needed to beat to get.
Well, we
it's
gotta
just-
win against one of them. So you know.
I
No,
didn't
I know, but like, and I think we will beat United. I will say that. I think
I do
not
think so.
because they're terrible. It's because I think they'll heavily rotate.
That's
more
what I'm
than
saying. They're
anything.
gonna play the children. They're gonna play.
But like
But
for the
there is
same
there is
reason-
still
for the
there is
same
still a part of me that there is still a part of me that thinks that like the usual Chelsea United bullshit could happen where we just they nick a draw or some nonsense.
Yeah.
Bro, Man United
yeah.
have somehow drawn with like Liverpool, beat Man City. I get it. That was when
It's just-
when everybody was beating
Mhm.
them, but
For the same reason, I think we'll beat United is the same reason Villa are going to win their next 2 games.
Yeah, I get you. Because the
They're
Spurs and
playing
Villa.
teams
I know.
that don't want to be there. So,
When was
but-
United's last win?
That's
Like,
a
in the league.
Yeah, in the league,
Leicester
man.
City 3-0.
Oh, was it Leicester? Because they've just been
Brentford, they lost
taking it lately.
to-
They've just been taking it. And I swear, if we blue ball that, man,
Oh
I don't care what shit against them.
Whoa.
normally.
I do
What
have to say
the
I
fuck?
do.
Villa have
Oh.
Spurs and then they have United to end the
Yeah,
season.
but I do think like
shit.
there's
It's been almost
to be
2
fair, though,
months
like-
Yeah.
since Man United won a Premier League game.
That's why we
I
got to
will
win
say
both
there's-
games.
there's
I think,
two things.
Mark.
Number one, yes, that's the last 2 games, but like, I'll be honest.
Oh,
it
Ipswich.
shouldn't
No,
come
they
down
won
to-
Ipswich. Yeah,
Timberline,
3-2.
then.
3-2 Ipswich.
You think
Like
so?
it shouldn't come down to us needing to beat Forest on the final day of the season for us to get top 5. We've been given an extra place as well. Like,
considering we
we-
were second place in
Yeah.
December, I agree. Yes.
Like you that's 4. You dropped 4 points against Ipswich. You dropped 3 points against, even a point against Fulham, but it should have been 3 points. That's 7 points right there. You get those 7 points
You dropped
by just
4
not being
against Crystal
stupid.
Palace.
No, but forget that, Marshall. I'm talking about 7
Okay.
points against an
Okay.
Ipswich team who are shit, who got relegated. And I'm talking about 3 points if you just defend well and not make stupid mistakes in the game against Fulham. That's 7 points. We're above Arsenal. And we're qualified already for the Champions League. And these games are nothing.
Scott, I'll do you one better. Jorgensen doesn't chuck the ball in our net against Villa, and none of this matters.
Oh.
Yeah, you're right about that as well.
Yeah.
that's
Like,
it.
I hear it.
And I agree.
Versus against dog shit teams, and we would be there. Yes. We also didn't need Flappy Bird in goal for a stoppage time winner against a team that had 1 win in 9 at that point. And we low key, if you look back at the fixtures, we low key keyed their resurgence in the Prem. But
Yeah.
That's true.
I also agree with what Pete you said earlier. Like, regardless of what happens, and I do think we made top 5, that doesn't excuse anything about this season.
Yeah.
No,
And-
I
and
don't want
the-
revisionism
I
on
don't
the
care
season
what
to feel like resounding success.
No, 100%.
No, Scott.
Yeah,
that's
and
what
I
I'm saying.
don't want it to mean that
I'm gonna
things
be happy
stay
with
the
it. Yeah, no, I'm gonna be happy with it for one day because that's relief that we finally made top like Champions League position, and then the next day is gonna be when hopefully Spurs beat United, so then I can laugh at Arsenal again, and then after that day, every
Oh,
day
no.
is gonna be.
The Europa League
Something
finals
different.
before the end of the season.
Oh yeah, thank
Yeah.
you
Yeah,
for
Europa
reminding
League
me.
final is between the
orders
last two.
were- sorry,
Finals
sorry.
Weirdly, yeah.
Europa League finals in 10 days.
Yeah,
Yeah,
before we
that's
play
right.
Forest. Yeah, sorry, before we play Forest. That's correct. Thank you, Peter.
Uh,
Sorry. First, I'll laugh at Arsenal fans because Spurs won a trophy, and then hopefully we had Champions League,
Spurs
and
will
then,
win it.
and then after that, it's gonna be every day is gonna be these are the 3 signings. I don't care whatever other stupid signings you make. These are the 3 I want
Bro,
if they're available. Right?
I
If
do-
Rodrigo's out of favor,
Marshall,
get
can
him.
you do me a favor?
Rudiger, get him.
Can you bring up
Arsenal/Gio
Jabba-
Perez, get him.
Can you bring up Jabba and Lule's comment? That is disgusting.
By the wait,
Oh,
Yeah, I know.
wait, December.
Oh, there's funnier ones for this, guys. Check Villa's.
No,
check
that's
Villa's place.
disgusting, man.
Check Villa's place in the table in December, in January.
oh,
I mean,
dude,
yeah,
they were
Newcastle
bottom
had a
half. They
iffy
were
start-ish
horrible.
as well, didn't they?
Yeah,
No,
they did.
Newcastle were
were
really
like
bad in the
Newcastle.
beginning of the season.
Newcastle
Right,
was
Chris,
much later
Chris,
than
Well,
Chris,
Newcastle and Villa, to be honest.
Chris,
Yeah.
Isak didn't score until he played us, and then he started banging in goals. He barely was
Peter,
scoring.
when did you say to
until he
check
played
when
us.
when
Wow.
Check Villa after match day 20.
Oh, Villa was having a
Let's
bad
go with
start
that.
too. Yeah.
22 they were 8th.
What about like 23? Because I know in January they were 10th.
Yeah, no,
They had a
match
mad
day 27. They were 10th.
Oh, so it's more recently than that. Okay.
January 22nd, or sorry, February 22nd. They beat you.
Yeah,
2-1.
they were 10th, and then they beat us, right? Isn't that what happened?
Yes,
Was that the result?
yes.
Hang on,
Remember
hang
when
on.
that happened.
20th.
Now
Yes.
they might.
Same-
Can you guys
same with-
imagine?
same with
Can you guys
Newcastle.
imagine?
No, Pete, you're wrong. So they beat us and then lost then on to Palace and then beat Brentford afterwards.
Ah, so can
And
you?
then, and then they
So
went
that,
on
that
a-
when they lost, so when they beat us, they went to 8th. When they lost to Palace, they were 10th. And then after that, they went on a 5-game winning streak where they could put themselves 7th.
they went on a
And
mad
literally
winning streak,
between that win against Brentford and the end of the season, because I do think they win both games. If they win both games, the only game they will have lost in 10 is away at City.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, the commenter saying sack the bald guy for even if we come 3rd or 4th. That's some stupid logic, by the way. That's some great stupid logic.
I don't even hate the
Yeah,
idea
I'm
of
not
sacking
really
the coach,
entertaining
but you have to
young
sack
dudes.
everyone.
Comments.
Yeah, you have to sack
Yeah,
everyone.
and you have to give me someone way better. Don't give me Inzaghi when he's not going to leave Inter Milan because he's
Bro, that-
probably just won a Champions League.
I don't know
You're not
who you
getting
go
an
for though.
Enrique. That's what
And
I'm
the
saying.
reason-
Which top manager? And don't say Ancelotti right now. Trust me, I love him to death. Let him go to international football, please.
The reason I
him
would
go.
say sack everyone if you're going to make any changes is because I don't want directors
Yep,
like,
exactly.
basically making decisions for their job in the short term and throwing a coach into a fucked situation where they're just not going to have any influence over what the hell to do.
Mhm.
Like, I don't like the idea of managers and directors functioning independently of each other. I think it's a poor recipe for success.
Peter, we see it in the NFL a lot. Like teams that fire their GM and the coach, and then there's one more. There's one other guy that usually is in tandem with those two. I want to say it's the fucking.
You see it in. I know Steve will understand this. You see it in MLS as well. Like
Yeah.
Toronto is a perfect example. These man,
Oh, they're shit.
bro, they are a mess. But they I think last year they hired they had a GM and a chief football officer, I think it was, or director of football.
Yeah.
Halfway through the season, they sacked the director of football.
Yeah.
Then the GM left, and so the only one there left was the coach, and he got sacked at the end of the season because they got a completely new GM in who didn't want him. Like it's just everyone's got to be in tandem. So like, I'll be honest, all I'm doing in terms of the sporting directors, I'm getting in Campos and I'm going, pick who you want. I don't care who comes in, pick who you want. If he picks, he might pick some random dude out of Colombia or Brazil or Paraguay or some random dude from Iceland. I don't care because I trust him.
Go get that Bodo Glimt manager.
Bro, cool. If Campbell wants that, go and get it because I trust him. I don't trust these sporting directors to tie their laces.
Yeah,
I can't disagree with that. That's where I'm at. Like, if anyone's gonna pick the next manager for this club, it can't be these directors anymore.
Yeah.
It has to be whoever.
Sorry.
And that's where I agree with Pete too. Like, if you're gonna sack the manager, you got to sack the directors too. Like
They should go first.
Yeah, they should go first.
I agree. They should go first.
They should
and then
walk
see
out.
if the
They should
director-
walk out the door one behind the other, but like they should walk out the door first. Okay.
First, yep, I agree.
And this isn't
Yeah,
like me saying I like the coach or anything like that because I really don't care either way. But this is just not how I would run this business. Year 3 into this project, where we're supposedly dying for Champions League football, but willing to bet our short-term future on guys like Mark Liu and Tyreek George through the middle. No disrespect to those guys, but it's not what I would have done.
Peter, what did?
Go ahead.
No,
Steve.
I was just gonna ask Peter what he actually thought about the game, but it sounded like you.
Oh, to be honest, I'm going to be honest with you guys. So that's 4 a.m. for me.
4 a.m.
I got back from watching the Royals lose yesterday at like 12:30. So I was very tired. I did set my alarm at 4, turned on a stream, saw us concede immediately. And I was like, oh,
Turned it off.
Yeah.
so, like, for these 4 a.m. games, right? When I'm tired, especially if we just start losing early, I'm like, I'll take a nap. And if I wake up, I wake up. Maybe some good shit will happen. I wake up, I see them going to VAR. I see Jackson get a red card, so I go back to
And you go back to sleep.
Oh,
We're not winning.
I called it.
We're not winning, right? And then so I woke up again at like 5:50. I was like, oh, it's 1-0. We could do something. I see Reece James head the ball into the ball. I'm like, let's do this. 2 minutes later, we concede again. I was like, all right, so I'm done with this. Then I got in the shower, and then I went back to bed.
chances.
So you
Pretty
basically
much.
got
Give it 3
highlights of all key events, Peter.
I was like, cool. And then I saw Tonali score. I was like, oh, okay. Well, we tried. At least they like didn't build my hopes up, you know, because I've been predicting a loss in this fixture for the last 4 months.
And
Yeah.
I've been
I
confident
mean,
about.
I remember you said we'll probably lose the first 2 games and then maybe win the last 2
No, I
games.
said we would draw against Liverpool because they were hungover.
Oh, did you? Okay.
I
Yeah,
didn't
he did.
account for Liverpool literally kicking the ball in their own net.
Okay. Yeah.
But thank you.
Hey, shout out.
Thank you.
Shout out.
Shout out
Because
to
I maintain at 1-0.
Shout
And
out
at
to
2-1
VVD,
at
man.
the end, we were about to concede, boys. But Liverpool were just like, you can have it. I was like, all right, we'll take it. That's nice. But yeah, this game today, we could have played that 100 times, and we lose 95 for various reasons other than a people's elbow and a hilarious giveaway. But we didn't do anything stupid for a month. It was time.
So,
Hopefully
sorry,
we
Marshall.
don't-
Can I address a comment?
What's up?
Peter.
Sure.
No, not Yandu. Yeah, you
I
can.
was hoping
you
any
can
comment
stick-
but his. But yeah.
Yeah, no, of course, no. He's addressed me, so let me address this
Wait,
dickhead.
what?
Let's just do the one and done,
yeah.
please. I don't want to entertain.
Yeah,
this.
no, of course.
Trolls.
Who you understand?
What if I
You
do?
can put your head where the sun. No, not you, bro. You can stick your head where the sun don't shine, dickhead. I don't care which manager we get. Like I said, I asked, who would you get? And you gave me Xavi, which I don't mind, but would you give him the year to settle in?
No, you weren't.
Because people were complaining about Enrique. People in PSG were complaining about Enrique first year in.
I heard the complaints. I have a friend who's from Paris, PSG fan, who was complaining last year.
We
was
would have done
thinking
the
of
same
getting
weekend.
and was thinking manager out last season. So would you give
I
him
thought
the
he
year to
was gonna
settle
get
in?
sacked in like November, to be honest.
Thank
He
you.
drew 1-1 with
Thank
PSV,
you.
and I started
Yes.
looking at Enrique.
And that's why
very
Arsenal,
funny
yeah,
after
and
the
Arsenal
PSV
fans were
1-1.
saying we don't mind playing PSG
like-
because we beat them in November when their form was shit. So would you give him the time to settle in? Would you give him the year plus? Because you're not
It's-
even giving this championship manager this, so you're gonna give the other guy. Because then you would be like, oh, he's won things before, so I'm gonna give him 0 time.
I don't
Yeah,
even
that's
know.
true.
I don't think you can even have the manager discussion until you identify some sort of director to come in. Like, it's not even worth having the
I mean,
discussion.
That's what I mean.
I don't
Like,
know.
you're relying on these directors to pick yet another manager. At that point, okay, let me just for the sake of an example, if Luis Campos were to come into this club, let him decide whether or not Maresca should go or if he should stay. That's simple as let the director decide. Because if I have these guys decide again, I'm just risking it going wrong again. And I meant to say this earlier, because Pete touched on this, and I really, really hope this isn't the case. I hope that with the way the directors have been signing players and how we're like supremely bloated when everyone's back in the squad in the summer and we have to sell all these players, I really hope we're just not becoming the UK version of Borussia Dortmund, where we're just selling for profit, making money,
Oh,
and just
brother.
never even aspiring for trophies or anything anymore. I really hope that's not the case. Like, there are people who already believe that's the case. This summer is going to tell me everything.
Yeah, I told you, Andre Santos
believe
was
it.
going to tell me everything. Andre Santos, if this loan or
Yeah,
sell
Andre
him,
Santos,
Exactly.
Andre Santos and
everything
Petrovic are the,
about their
I say
entire
Andre
tenure.
Santos and Petrovic are the litmus test for these guys.
Yeah,
Because especially like
Santos more than Petrovic.
100%, but
I
like
get
we've
you.
seen it.
Got-
Apparently, there's
got-
concrete interest in both. There's concrete interest from Leeds, I think, for Petrovic, or that was reported, and we know there's going to be interest from other people like buying and whatnot
Sorry,
for him.
Leeds?
What the
Yeah.
fuck happened to Leeds keeper?
He's shit. He
Yeah,
got
that's
dropped
about-
early this season.
LEA is awful.
He's horrible.
Yeah, so they were doing really well. They went through a rough patch because he kept making mistakes. He got dropped.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't pay attention, guys. I just be trolling. But you know, whatever.
But yeah, like I agree. They're going to be the litmus test because if either like I agree, it's more Santos than Petrovic. But even Petrovic, like he's a clear upgrade on everything else we have in goal. If he
Yeah.
leaves and we end up
Well,
with
Petrovic
one
is
of the
another
two
one.
bozos we've got currently as our starting keeper next season, bro, that's strike one.
Or if
Santos,
they bring in
It's
Penders.
like strike
I
Or if
just
they bring in
wanna-
Penders, I'm going to lose my shit.
Santos alone is 3 strikes. But like if they bring Penders back by the way and play him, I'll have a biblical crash out. I swear to Christ.
Well, it depends how he performs. If he actually
No,
performs,
fuck that. I'm not starting at 18.
No, Marshall.
No, Marshall.
not yet.
I'm not-
Yeah,
What
Marshall.
Petrovic done this year? It's
Marshall,
crazy.
Marshall, I need you to
Let me
understand
actually
something.
see the
I'm-
player in action first before.
No,
Marshall,
no,
please.
Marshall.
not yet.
I am not
I'm just
starting.
gonna assume
I am
he's
not
shit.
Marshall.
Like people were
Marshall.
I am
saying,
not
"Oh,
starting.
Please.
No, Marshall. I am not starting a 20-year-old keeper who didn't play for 2/3 of the season for a Belgian team.
Yeah.
He does not deserve to then go and start for Chelsea Football Club.
Yeah, let him.
I don't
settle
give a
down.
shit
We're
if
not
he's
even
the
signing
second
him
coming
now.
of Buffon.
If it's a
I don't
backup, then
care.
fair enough.
No,
Yeah, we're not
fuck
even
backup.
signing him
No,
now.
no, no.
Just
I'm saying
Petrovic.
like him as a backup to Petrovic.
No,
like,
fuck
it won't
backup.
matter.
Again, I don't want him to be backup because if he's
Okay.
the guy that people
No,
were telling
go to
me he
Strasbourg.
is, he needs to play.
Go to Strasbourg.
So yes,
Yeah,
Strasbourg
go to
loan, perfect. If
I
he
mean,
comes back
alone,
as
like,
number
yeah,
one, like I said, I'll have a
Why
just-
would you be willing to have a backup keeper when we're supposed to be in Champions League next year that came from the Belgian league and who's 20 years old and lacks first team experience?
Just because
Thank you.
well, one, he's not going to
What?
really play much games. He's just going to play the FA
No,
Cup
Chris,
games.
Yeah,
he
Chris,
would.
Chris, you guys
Well,
don't.
he's not going to play the important games.
You guys don't learn from the
Shouldn't
mistakes
play
you
for
make.
Chelsea.
We have cup
full stop.
games. We have
You
cup
guys do
games.
not learn from the mistakes we're making right now.
Forget
Yeah.
no, forget
Stop
the mistakes
distracting.
we're making. Look at mistakes other teams are making. Go and ask Arsenal how it was when they had what was that Runnison, whatever the fuck his name was, starting in
Yeah.
cup games.
Like, God forbid, right? God forbid whoever our starting keeper is has some sort of foot problem or some sort of hand issue, right? They're out
That's
for
close.
4 to 6 weeks.
God.
Then
Oh
we're-
yeah, that's mathematically impossible now, isn't it? Lol.
Yeah.
now it's impople.
Yeah.
Hey, look.
And-
69
Yeah,
points there.
69.
And also, Chris,
You're
Chris,
69.
I don't know. Chris, I don't know what you. That's wild. Chris, stop it.
What?
That's very disturbing.
What the fuck? Just
Chris. If you think about this, in modern football in the Prem, the backup
Yeah.
keeper usually now takes the competitions. Ortega, Kelleher. You want this 20-year-old to go up against whoever it might be even a Man City at some point for one of these you want that?
Well, how much
You
you
want
say you
this
played this
20-year-old
season?
I'll go and look.
He played
It's
one
like
third,
Betty.
or about almost a half of
He
the season.
basically
Oh,
didn't
Because
play
I
much
don't
of
want to see. I just don't know. I don't want to see Sanchez at the club, even as a backup. That scares me. He might get picked somehow.
Then keep
Yeah,
Jorgensen
that's
as a
fine.
backup.
Yeah,
I
just
don't
keep
mind
Jorgensen
keeping
as
Jorgensen as
backup.
a backup too.
If he
I
wins
really
you the
don't. But
Conference League too, just let us stop it.
it just didn't seem like a
and
big deal to me.
No,
that he was a
I
backup
said
player.
it. I said it. If we sell Santos to Bayern Munich, anyone
Thank
who's
you in
even
advance.
excited about, I fucking hate you. You can shut the fuck up. I hate you right now. Because you're Bayern and Newcastle, so you need to stop. And I hate you for that using that name.
By the way,
um,
to answer your question, Steve. Sorry to interrupt. To answer your question, Steve. Not Steve. Chris. In a 30-game league season, he started 11 games.
Okay, that's not good enough.
So 1/3. What did he say?
On loan. On loan.
He
Yeah, that's
wasn't.
not good
By the
enough.
way,
Yeah, thank
he didn't even. And the thing is, I'm looking now. He didn't even start that much for their B team. Well, he actually started decent. He started like half the games for their B team in those games where he didn't play for the A team. No,
Yeah. But I would say if we sell Santos, if anyone's hyped up about Esteval, and I was one of the first because I watched
Hold
this
on.
kid.
I want to
Let
address
him go.
it immediately.
Which one?
CFC unit. How does this work
What
in
the
your brain?
Sorry,
No,
what?
like, guys, we're 3 points behind them. They're +4 on goal difference relative
No,
to us.
no.
And they're
No,
playing
this-
Arsenal, who haven't
Everton
lost
at
to.
home on the
Arsenal
last game.
struggling.
Oh yeah, they're playing Everton at home.
Yeah, how does
Nah,
this
like
work?
if
an
we was going to
Arsenal-
take
and an-
Newcastle, we'd won today. Would have won
and an
today.
Arsenal
That
side
would
who
prove it.
lost, and an Arsenal side who just lost Mikel Moreno and who haven't lost to them like for a year to 2
Hey,
years.
Curry, you forgot Mikel the Beast Moreno.
Sorry, yeah, thank you. So they've
Yeah,
lost
those
a quote unquote striker, and they haven't won there
Beast.
for like 2 to 3 years. What are you talking about?
Are we really like? Nah, we should have won. No, we would have won today. Was go overtake them and stay.
We would have
ahead of
won
them.
today. Good joke.
Yeah,
guys.
like would have won the last two
I don't
games
even
for
know
sure.
why we even predicted anything other than the L. You guys, it's like we forget.
I'm taking top five. I'm taking top five.
I
That's
was
all.
thinking, hey, Peter,
Taking
I was
top
saying
five.
a
Of
draw.
course we're
Okay, I
taking
was saying a
top
draw.
five, brother.
Okay.
No, like
I'm taking top 5. Like,
I'm not
That was a
looking.
good
I'm not
game.
looking ahead of
I'm
Man
taking
City,
top five.
Arsenal, or Newcastle. I'm not looking at those teams. No
Let
more.
me also say this. Thank
Also,
God
you
they
guys-
made up these charity spots for Champions League and expanded the
Shout out,
tournament.
shout out.
Yes, yeah.
Shout out.
Because if it was only top 4 like it had been every season of our lives until right
Oh,
now,
we'd be fucked.
This season, yeah.
oh my God, it would be so dark right now.
It might be that way if we lose to Man United or draw to the next game. So
No, guys,
Chris,
not to be.
Chris, we better not lose to
be-
Man United. I'll be honest.
I don't
We
think we
better
will.
not lose.
Not to be dramatic. It's not over, but if
It's
we
over.
don't win on Friday, it is
Yeah, it's
over.
over.
oh
It
wait,
is
we
over.
playing Friday.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
Friday.
it's
Friday.
Friday.
Oh fuck's sake! What
By the
time?
way, there
8
won't be a review.
There's some
I think
middle of the
I
day.
think it's
next
8:30 your
time.
time. I think it's 8:30 your time.
Oh,
3:30
please tell me it's 8:30. I
Eastern,
finished
and
work at
12:30.
8:30. I didn't even realize it was
Yeah.
Friday. For fuck's sake, I missed something.
8:15, Scott. They can meet you halfway. 8:15.
Oh, sorry, 15, sorry.
Yeah, they
So-
just made up some start time because who gives a fuck? But yeah, we play on Friday. If we don't win, it is over. Okay. If we lose, burn the boats.
Burners.
over.
Burn the boats. Okay.
Oh shit, dude. Yeah.
If we don't even make it to get our hearts broken on the last day, if we don't even make it to the last day, that would be terrible.
All
But I've
I'm gonna
already
say is,
emotionally bargained for being disappointed on the last day, so I'm okay.
yeah, all I'm gonna
Marshall
say is I'm gonna be
will
so
not
thankful
have a
that I
good
don't
time.
have Twitter.
He thinks we're gonna make it.
I think we are. I think
That's
we are.
great. You just gotta set your expectations a little low.
Yeah.
And just hope
So you
for
can't
a
get
little-
disappointed.
Listen, I already set low expectations last. Like, I don't know if I can call myself a Chelsea fan and then set my expectations even lower. Like, that's just.
No, you
can't.
can.
No, I can't, just 'cause,
you
like,
can.
Why do you feel like you
I
have to
really-
expect one? Look at this team.
I really think that Pochettino set us back a season. We should be far more ahead of where we are now, and we're
What?
not.
What was that his fault?
What? Okay, all right.
How was that his
Sucks,
fault?
But like, how?
In terms
I think-
of, go ahead.
I disagree. I dislike Poch. I think the only thing Poch set us back on is the injury issues, which I think this season we have mostly like most of the players that have got injured this season haven't been the same. Like, yes, Lavia and Reece James, but outside of that, it's been new players. Madueke, who didn't get injured last season. Jackson didn't get injured last season. Hugh wasn't here. Like, so outside of those issues, like I think he has set us back with the whole Lavia thing because he fucked Lavia completely. But outside of that, he's not the one at his football club who has set us back.
Peter answered this. I was laughing when I read this.
Let's
Peter
start
answered this,
now.
please.
I
Peter
guess
answered this.
Newcastle are going to lose at home to Everton. What?
What?
I don't know, man. I guess.
I mean, anything's possible,
Sorry,
right?
I feel
Anything's
like-
possible. Anything's possible.
Yes.
Like
Sure.
Arsenal could get relegated from the Champions League spot if they lose every game and every team wins. You know.
They're playing
the thing is for
Southampton.
me-
Hang on. They're playing Southampton, I think, at home last.
Yeah.
game of the
Well,
season.
anything can happen. You know.
The last time Everton beat us at St. James Park, Dominic Calvert-Lewin was good.
So when Newcastle.
So when Ancelotti was there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to say their record at St. James Park sneaky almost as bad as ours.
Yeah.
Yeah. Listen, CFC Duvan, I have this bad habit when I see fans being a little irrational and unfair towards Chelsea to just be extreme with it.
Marshall's a contrarian, but a positive contrarian. He's the
A
worst.
positive contrarian. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's the worst kind of
Um,
contrarian because in his heart, he didn't believe we were getting 72 points, but he said that because he didn't like people.
I was
bullying
really
Chelsea.
close, Pete. I was close, dude. If we
No,
win our
you're
next
not.
2 games, I
We're
was
gonna
1
finish
game
with
away, man.
67, like I said, and it's fine though. Like, but I get it. You love Chelsea so much, you don't like when people talk shit, and that's a good
Proper Chelsea.
admirable trait to have.
Yeah, man.
But you
I
have
mean,
to
yeah,
understand.
it's that to an extent, but you know what it is? It's like the point of view of a Chelsea fan online is when we were shit, everyone else is great and on form, and Chelsea is the only team that's shit. And it's just like, yeah, no, Man City are going to win every single game going on to the rest of the season. And what did they do against Southampton? They dropped points. Did I expect it to happen? No, I didn't expect it to happen. I expected us to lose against Liverpool.
It's same with
We
Forest.
won.
I didn't expect Forest to do to.
How did
And
you
and
expect
Forest
the
didn't
loss
expect us
versus
to be this
Liverpool to
bad.
win today?
Hmm?
This guy's a contrarian. You expected a loss versus Liverpool, but a win today?
Yeah, no, it's
What?
just
Huh?
sometimes football just footballs, and it's just like, especially this
No.
season, like if this
He
season
is
taught us
like
anything,
killing me,
it's
bro.
just expect at least
yo,
expect
You
it.
think
yo,
the teams would have lost last week and summoned up the gall to go up north on
Yeah.
that long trip and win today? We would have got piped even worse.
But I don't think. Wait, Marsh, you wasn't aware of the record, was you, at that point? Or
No, he was.
I'm well
He
aware.
was.
I just,
Okay,
I
I-
just,
That's
Don't
even
worry,
worse.
he's aware.
no, that's
I
why.
just-
That's why I'm just trying to maybe like see your point of view.
He is
Hey, Peter,
reacting.
Peter, Peter, Peter.
I
You know
don't
what?
think
You know what? You know what? You know what? CFC. You know what I'm saying? You know what? We're gonna treat that as gospel now because, as Marshall said, football's gonna football, yo. Football can football. You know what I'm saying? Football can football.
Look,
man.
guys,
Football-
Hey,
football-
Curry.
put that on a t-shirt.
Hey, Curry. We only believe in what we believe in. You know. We
Mm.
only
Look,
believe in things. that we
football
believe
can
in.
football. I get it, but like, guys, I don't know if you guys watched the games this season. Like, I remember watching the Leicester game that we won at home and being absolutely convinced after that game that we weren't going to make it.
The
because-
1-0 win, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
I watched this.
You were-
miss-
yeah, that was-
I watched not even so. I watched us miss the penalty. Right, that can
Yes.
happen. 4 minutes later, we're heading the ball onto our own bar under no pressure, and I'm like, you know what? We're just not going to do this because this team is like on the verge of crumbling. But thank God they're just so bad that we didn't crumble. Like I don't expect the players and the coaching staff to hold up under the pressure of the situation. Like,
Mm.
I just haven't. So
Yeah, but the
it's a
thing with
shame that
me-
it's coming down to this, but it is what it is, man.
The thing with me though, and this is one thing that like annoys me about this team is that when it comes down to it, And when like the pressure is on, these kids turn up. It's fucking annoying because you want consistency out of them, not just to turn up in the big games. And I did say multiple times that like I don't think there's anything really stopping us from potentially going back to the form we were in the beginning of the season. And to an extent, I didn't expect the performances to turn around the way they have, but in recent games, the performances have improved. I expected just results at this point. Just get it however you can. It's the end of the season, legs are tired, shit happens, sure. But the performances have improved. And looking at that second half against Newcastle, had we had 10 men, I think a good portion of you guys in the chat and maybe in the panel said, maybe we do get a result against them. Maybe we get a win.
That's something that I've differed from almost every okay, here's my thing, right? When you got one of the reasons why you were so poor in that first half was because you were going long every single time.
100%.
And when Jackson got sent off, you slowly stopped doing that. You played the ball, you played it a lot to Madueke. I'm not saying that it worked, but at least you got further up the pitch. It didn't stop dead at the halfway line.
Yeah.
And then because you were actually trying to play more on the wing, Dan Burton couldn't just bomb forward and play second striker. Cher couldn't either. Like that I think it benefited you that Jackson was not on the pitch. Scott though was right. Obviously getting sent off, there's no excuse for it. And if he just made it to halftime and that red card thing never fucking happened, then you could just sub him off for George or whoever the hell, maybe a Sancho, false nine, do whatever, right? But if you kept Jackson on that pitch the whole 90 minutes or 80 or whatever, I don't think you I don't think you abandon the long ball like you did.
It's
I don't
possible.
think,
I don't know.
yeah.
You're not wrong.
It was just I don't know. Am I wrong though? I feel like you guys completely. I feel like you guys stopped doing the long ball after the Jackson sending off. We finished off the half strong.
Yeah.
But then in the second half, that's when you made those changes.
Were we creating a ton of chances? 10v11.
We've created 3 more obvious ones. Like the
Reece
Cucurella.
James had a header.
Reece James had a header. Enzo flicked it over Pope, but Pope just gets a hand on it and sends it.
That Pope save was really good.
Yeah, and then the
Cucurella. He's 6'6". That's what he does.
Shot.
Yeah,
that Pope save is really good for like an average height keeper.
Yeah,
he is 6'6". Yeah.
The whole Nick Pope is one of the best shot stoppers in the league because of his frame and just the ability to not have to leap off the turf and meet shots like that. He could more or less from a standing start make all of these saves.
Yeah,
and the Cucurella one's good because how tall he is and how big he is, how low he
got down.
That was a ridiculous.
But in saying that though, I was thinking during the game, even before Jackson got sent off, I was thinking like, dude, we desperately need to go into second half to calm the fuck down and reevaluate the tactics because clearly, I was saying, and Chris, you could probably vouch for me. I was saying we probably need to bring in another midfielder to have more control in the midfield because we were being outran. You guys packed out your midfield.
We didn't need to bring another midfielder in there. We needed to take
James
one of you saw we got better with James. Because it meant Caicedo could go in there, and we were better with Caicedo because he could cover more ground than Enzo and Lavia, to be fair. And he just made us better. And I think that's the thing. If you'd have taken, you could have kept it the same, put Reece on for Enzo, and I think you end up still in a positive position. You just then maybe have to take Jackson off and put George up front or something. That's nuts. But I don't know. The problem is we were still so. We weren't bad defensively, but Newcastle were just cutting through us at every opportunity.
In the first half, it was horrible.
Even in the second half, a lot of that I think came down to us being to 10 men and trying to attack because we went to a 3-back formation or something.
How much of how the first half unfolded had to do with Chelsea being dispossessed in midfield 90 seconds in, and the ball ending up in their net 7 seconds after that, and them being shook
so quick.
Quite a
you
bit.
can have all of these tactical explanations for why what happened, But when you see Lavia get bullied 90 seconds in and you're picking the ball out of your net because of that, like I just feel like so much of when this team turns away from what they're supposed to be doing well, so much of this is psychological and it's mental. And I just don't think our players have it in them collectively to battle through moments like that.
I agree. I've said that all season. They're weak mentally.
We do have some players that can do it. You look
at like
Enzo,
individually, we have players who are capable
we have
of stuff.
individuals,
Right? Like, for example,
as a team,
I don't actually think the Everton performance and the Fulham performance are two drastically different games. I really didn't think they were. We just took half chances at ideal times and got a result because of it. You know what I mean? And it's good to have players who can take half chances because then you're getting goals out of nothing. Like, that's always a good quality to have. It's good to have more difference makers, but it's not like we were playing so well going into the last 10 minutes at Craven Cottage. We got a result and it was great, but like, I feel like I've seen the same performance from the bits I watched today most of the last 3 months. The result differs depending on moments in the match, right? Obviously, football hinges on major moments in matches.
Yeah.
The result different, but like the performance has kind of been more or less the same. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I don't necessarily agree. I do think that, you know, Lavia has helped us out. But, like, at the same time, it's very much what this comment is saying, right? Like, I do think, despite what happens the remainder of the season, next season, Maresca, you need to have a plan B. Because this season, when you didn't have Lavia, you were easily sussed out. We saw this, like, everyone knew what to do against us. Just low block, we didn't do shit, we weren't creating anything. You know, our defense isn't the strongest either. And teams took advantage of that. Now you saw Eddie Howe, like a good manager, up against your Lavia, the one thing that was making your system work, which is Lavia, right? What happens if he nullifies that? You don't have a plan B for that. And this is a thing I said that I was critical of. What game was it? I think it was the Ipswich game that just happened, where as soon as we conceded, what are we doing? We're still waiting for Ipswich to press us, but Ipswich aren't going to press us. They're going to sit back, low block, and just wait for the ball. So then what do? So you continue the whole entire half trying to get Ipswich to press you, and they weren't trying to press you anymore. Then you go into the second half, and that's why I was saying, like, I was just, what Steve was saying with the first half, I was just waiting to go into the second half and think, all right, this is how the team works. They don't have any idea or how to adapt in the game, so they have to wait until they go into the locker room, the manager comes out or the coach comes out and tells you what to do, and then we look better in the second half. It's the same thing that happened against Ipswich, but we didn't get the win against Ipswich. You end up getting a draw. It's stuff like that. Like, Maresca, in the summer, you need to have a backup plan. If Lavia were to get marked out of a game again, like he did today, what's your backup plan? And these players should, with more experienced players, you probably have that already. These players like step up and know what to do in these moments, but you don't have that right now. At least, not right now. But it's stuff like that in the summer you need to improve on that. It's a criticism of Maresca.
Who was everyone's man of the match, by the way? Curious to hear.
Me, Colwell. Oh, you mean sorry. I thought you meant for each club. Okay, yeah, it was
for yours. Colwell,
I thought you meant, that's me misreading
Colwell
that.
for me today, yeah, surprisingly.
If it's for Chelsea, yeah, Colwell, but like
overall game, I'm giving it to Tonali.
Bruno's pretty good too.
It's Tonali or Bruno. Like, they were on a level above every other player on the football pitch today.
Isak was nullified. I thought he did nothing because
Our
he wasn't involved.
Good.
Yeah.
Like, only one I thought maybe is Gordon because he was just diving around and, like, you know, frustrating our players. But like, that's about it from the attack.
I would say for us, I would say Cucurella.
He was
Cucurella
pretty good too.
Cucurella was good.
Yeah, just
He's
because
always
like
good,
when we
though.
went to 9 men, then he was kind of like a left winger, and he was providing us that width and space, and
He
still
forced the
helping to
Nick Pope
defend.
save as
So.
well.
Definitely.
Yeah, right. So he was becoming the outlet he needed to be before Sancho came in. So
Who crossed
That's
the
why.
ball? That
Yeah,
James
Burn
did
was
the
pretty
header?
good. Actually, agree with that.
Gusto is the only good cross he's ever had in his career. But it was good.
That was Gusto. Oh my god, I even noticed that.
Wait, that was really Gusto?
Yeah,
Yeah, it was.
We had our right
That was-
backs connecting with the game on the line, baby.
Yeah, let's go. Let's go.
Yeah, when Gusto came on, I was like, yeah, no, I don't think anything's happening anymore. Yeah, I was pretty much done with that.
I didn't watch enough. I have
Wait,
no
Marshall, are you trying to say he's our John Obi Mikel? Like we're setting up shop? Is that what you're saying?
No. No, man, I wish it was John Obi Mikel coming on. Yeah, anything else to touch on in the game, guys? Because, yeah, I think the major things, I mean, we could talk about Palmer, but I don't know what.
I don't think he's that bad.
I can't say much about Palmer because you're playing with 10 men. Like, I don't know what you.
No, there was still some stuff in that second half of like just needless stuff. Really, there was some times in the first half he killed our attack, like just slowly pulled out for no reason and went backwards. Counter attack.
I felt like he did that at times. Oh, go on. Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, it just wasn't a good performance. Like I said, a few people didn't turn up today. Yeah, like
Yeah, who are those? Yeah, I mean, Nani didn't turn up. He got hooked.
I mean,
Enzo
this,
didn't turn up. Palmer didn't really turn up. Sanchez went like I'm not saying Sanchez didn't turn up because this was usual performance, but considering how he had played before this game, he went back to his norm. Yeah.
Well, Scott, you lost it on the watch along. It was like the 30th minute, I want to say, and he passed it just straight down the middle, and then I think we shot it wide or some shit, and you were fucking fear. I remember that.
Bro, I must have called Sanchez the C. I must have called Sanchez the C word like 3 times on the watch long. For different points in the game.
Like,
Literally about 12 hours ago, exactly. You was
was it Sanchez or was it Maresca telling him to go long? Because I just didn't.
I felt like he did that.
Do you know what the bad thing is? I don't know. I don't know who is to the fault at this point. I have to think Maresca's involved somehow. Because if he wasn't, then he'd have been dropped at this point, surely. But I don't know, bro. I don't know what the fuck's going on with him.
I don't know if it's just Maresca. I thought it's just how like Newcastle was pressing our defense in that midfield. There's not much short out option to the back, so boot it. Because if he passed it short, like majority of the time, we're making more mistakes. Like he's passing to players who's bad to be tackled or something, and they run onto attack. So his long kicks are shit. His short kicks are shit. It's a lose-lose situation, to be honest.
And I said that like at halftime, I was like, we have you guys right where we want you.
Yeah.
Because if you go long, we can just head it on the halfway line and then just go right back to your goal. But if you try to play out from the back, that just enables our press. So you have to find that was a problem, but that's second half you guys massively improved, to be honest.
Yeah. Well, it wasn't enough of an improvement to get a result or even a point at that. So, congrats, Steve. You won the game.
Better luck next year, bro. I'll give you 3 points at your ground. You give me 3 at mine, like we've done the past fucking how many years.
That's what we did this year. So yeah, I mean, it was a fair trade. Just the timing of this one was like couldn't have like waited until next season.
It's still in our hands. It's still in our hands.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. We will see. Mixed reactions as to how the season's gonna finish here on the panel, but hey, there's only 2 games left. We have it's
United at Friday, and then don't know what day Nottingham Forest are, but like it's the same day as everyone else.
Sunday.
It's Sunday.
It's Sunday.
That's not on Sky or BT, sadly, but then again, I won't be watching. If we lose to Georgia, I'm not watching the final game of that.
Yeah, Conference League is 3 days after. It's a Wednesday after.
Okay, got it. So fair warning to everyone watching, I will not be available to do a match reaction to United. However, on the day of the game. However, I will do a match reaction to it the next day. So we'll see how temperaments will flare up if there are any reasons to, be angry. Hopefully we're not angry. Hopefully we're happy with a victory. Or really pissed off with the defeat. Who knows what's going to happen at this point. Or just dropping points in general. But we'll see what happens on Friday. But yeah, I'll be reacting to that on Saturday. Usual time, 10 UK time, 5 p.m. Eastern here in the US. But yeah, we're going to rate out, ladies and gents. It's been a good show. Unfortunate result, but hey, it is what it is. Let's see what happens with Champions League places. But all right, guys, we're gonna raid out to Flawless. He's doing the Yardman show, so go up there, copy and paste the raid message, let him know where you're coming from. Big up to the panel, big up to everyone that joined us today. Big up to Steve for joining us as well, to give us that Newcastle perspective. But yeah, guys, smash up the like button if you haven't done so already. Be sure to subscribe to the channel if you are new here. Check out the links in the description for more content. Music of mine is in there as well. My link tree, my YouTube channel, all that stuff is on there. And also, before we leave, as always, memberships, 4 different tiers starting at 99p, and at the proper casual and higher tier, you get a shout out. That's going to go out to Daniel, TM127, EE, Dark Agent, and A. Sullivan. Big up to you guys. Big up to everyone who smashed up the like and did all the fun stuff. And we'll see you again on Saturday for the match reaction to United. Peace out and have a good rest of your night. Stay casual. Peace.
Arteta in.